Todd's over here.
Am I in it now?
Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that our audio, since we're live now. Hi guys.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hey. Let's do that microphone. Maybe that's right.
Maybe.
All right, we're gonna start the show a little bit early here with the old unboxing. Should we put, like I said, put that
You want a
just?
little more?
Just
Can
make
you
sure
hear
you
it?
can hear that it's
Can you?
on.
Can you hear it?
I
I
can
can
hear
hear
it?
it
Okay.
right now.
All right, we do have to make sure that we're still technically on the air. All right, we got some fun things here.
Ooh,
I'm excited.
There's quite a few.
I don't know what all these are, so I didn't know if it was unboxing stuff or just listeners who wanted to tell me that I'm wrong.
Ooh, that should be really
That could
fun.
be fun too. You have unboxed an insult.
That's what we should do that.
Ooh.
I'm okay with that.
Carlo
Unboxing
is with us. Hi, Carlo.
Say it to my face. I
That's
guess I don't have a.
That's a great segment too.
Say it to my
Mickey.
face.
Say
it
That's
to
the
my
name of the
face.
segment.
We could do it. You want to send us hate? It doesn't have to just be to me.
This is actually a bill.
Oh.
All right. This is. I'll read this. This is Tiger Lily Resources. You ever heard of that?
No.
No.
Are we all in the shot here?
back here.
Hi Annie, I hope this message finds you well. I listen to your show every time I'm in my car during your show times. Love it!
Caps
Caps
Okay.
lock.
with exclamation.
My go-to midday listening. High five.
Thank you.
I'm the founder of Tiger Lily Resources, a Midwest-based, nationally reaching, Christ-centered nonprofit ministry fighting human sex trafficking in America. I'm also the host of our online video podcast series, Traffic Stop. Traffic with a K. Real news. Sex trafficking exposes the realities of human sex trafficking in America, and the creator of Operation Ambush, a national network collaboration of ministries and services that specifically serve survivors of human sex trafficking in America. Our mission: to expose the dark realities of human sex trafficking in the United States of America by enlightening the multitudes to the truth of this crime, exposing who the buyers, sellers, and victims are, and supporting various ministries nationwide that serve survivors. Isn't human trafficking something that we all know is going on, and we just casually don't talk about it?
Oh.
Like, yeah.
It's such a.
Brad, what are you doing?
I'm trying to move this out of the way so
Okay,
I can
I was gonna.
stand
There
here.
you go. You're like hiding.
Yeah, I'm trying to not hide.
No, but isn't that crazy?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's tough to wrap your mind around because it's so
scary.
So hidden.
it's so
not
hidden,
something
but
you see.
But it's also such a broad topic of what human trafficking is. You know, we think of human trafficking as sex trafficking, but it's also trafficking people across the border. It's moving people country to country, state to state.
It's terrible,
It's awful.
and it's like just a part of what happens. Collaborating is one of our favorite things to do, so I popped on your Facebook page again to message you. Did you know the Super Bowl is the largest single event in the world for human trafficking? I didn't know that.
Wow.
I did not know that either.
So
I have heard that about events in general, though, that people will use mass gatherings to do that.
it's Tiger Lily Resources, and they have a podcast series called Traffic Stop, maybe Real News Sex Trafficking. I don't know if that's the whole name of it. There's some more information here, and so yeah, that's that. Thank you for reaching out to us and not telling me how much you hate me. And coming next.
She
Okay.
said the opposite, actually.
Yes. If you want to participate in an unboxing, I would like to do these monthly. So if you want to send us something, like we've got some like things here to open here in a second. If you want to send us something, it's 1220 Olive Street. It's the Odyssey building. You're basically sending it to the radio station. Put Annie Frey or the Annie Frey Show on it. I don't know that this is 100% for the unboxing, but I saved it to open here because it's from a place that I really like and want to support, which is Thrive. And it's a mantle card. Look at this little baby.
That's a big card.
That's so cute.
She's adorable.
Baby Wonder. And it says, sung to the tune of We Three Kings of Orient Are.
Hit it, Ryan. And a one, and a two.
Oh, both songs are here. So We Three Kings is also here, but here we go. Okay, I'll try to do the other one.
We got a beat.
Oh, baby wonderful of light, makes her family's future bright. Upward lifting, daily gifting.
This is amazing.
Church singing.
Choosing life is perfect light. Amen.
Thrive is an amazing organization. Their national headquarters are right here on Lindell Boulevard in St. Louis, Missouri. If you want to support Thrive, they help women who may be abortion determined choose life and get them through the whole process past the point of the baby being born. So don't give me any of this nonsense about you only care if the baby's born. That's not true. There are lots of people who are working very hard to support. Thrive is a Christ-centered organization that empowers women and men to make life-affirming, esteemable, and healthy decisions about sex, pregnancy, and relationships. Thrive. Go support them. There's some more information there.
Giant mantle card.
Oh, we're giving away Cardinals tickets. Here's a little promo in the middle of our unboxing. Cardinals tickets we'll give away at 2:20.
Done. 2:20.
Right back.
2:20. So thanks for being here early. You are in the know. Why don't you do this one?
Me?
Yeah.
All right. So this is a gift package from my friends at the Lantern BLE in Lebanon, Illinois. Breakfast, lunch, and every now and then they do evenings. So if you guys are looking for a great breakfast spot on the weekends, and I say weekends, just Saturday, head out there. If you're free during the week, head out there too. They're open daily.
In Lebanon, Illinois.
Lebanon, Illinois,
The
on Main
Lantern.
Street.
What does
The
BLE
Lantern.
stand for?
Breakfast, lunch, and
Do you know?
evenings.
Okay.
Do you know what BFE stands for?
Yeah, I do.
It's different.
Lake Cairo is down there.
So what they have sent us is pecan pie brownies.
That doesn't look bad at all.
No. And then these.
These are special brownies, but not like that.
These are peanut butter cookies. They're called peanut butter and jello cookies. And I kept asking Adam. I said, Adam, peanut butter and jelly? He's like, no, peanut butter and
Eat the whole
jello.
thing.
Right
So-
now.
Yeah,
But
before
he,
the show starts.
but he says they taste like a
This is
peanut
a sugar
butter
high
and
day
jelly
for-
sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
So, and a cookie.
Wow,
Hey.
that's
So
Scooch this way.
look at that.
Go for it. Let us know.
who wants a cookie?
How many stars? I can't do it right now because I'm talking, but I'll taste one later.
I'm good right now.
Okay.
How's the brownie?
I love
Chewy?
listening to him
Chewy?
eat it.
It's the best.
Ryan Wiggins ASMR! Here we go.
This is the card that came from this box, which we're super excited to open up. The Brit Kit.
Blimey.
I've been wondering what this is.
How are you liking that brownie?
Choking?
You still with us?
I need
He
milk.
said it's rich.
I need to get some Fairlife milk.
So this is the card that came with it.
Ooh.
Dear Annie, thank you so much for doing an unboxing of the Brit Kit on your show. I cannot tell you how much I appreciate this and how excited I am to see. Gotta make sure you put my microphone on. How excited I am to see how much you love the contents. The Brit Kit is a dream of mine being realized. I feel it brings me closer to my country of origin. I just love British style, and I hope your listeners will too. The Brit Kit can be purchased as a one-time gift box or as a subscription. Subscribers will get the bonus gift that I have included in your Brit Kit. The Brit Kit can be purchased at thebritkit.com. Questions can be sent to info@thebritkit.com. As it is getting closer to Christmas, I am willing to hand deliver Brit Kits if shipping is paid.
Wow.
All right.
You good?
Yeah.
That way we ensure delivery before Christmas. Customers would just need to send me an email upon purchase.
So they're local.
Yes, Jen.
Wow.
This is from Jen. So that,
What's in it?
You wanna open it?
Delivered it.
should Hannah open it? Hannah, open it.
Hannah, open it.
The Brit.
I can't take another bite of this right now because I took a huge bite of that thing.
Go,
I
go,
took like
go,
I ate like a
go.
fourth of that in one bite.
Oh, yeah.
Those are really good. The pecans are so good.
You can do the other side if you want.
I think it is. Oh, okay.
There you go.
So she's British?
She's from, yeah.
Okay.
She's
Yep.
from,
Her country.
oh, look at this. This is
the
so
queen.
pretty.
I recognize her
So,
from the news.
I know that lady. Good memories are our second chance at happiness, Queen Elizabeth. Congratulations on your purchase of the very first Brit Kit. So she tells her story there. It says the Brit Kit, bursting with Britishness.
Wow.
So
All right,
cool.
let's see. Look
So
at
if
the
it's
little
like a
stinger
go-go
right there.
dancer outfit, I'll
So
put it on. I'll be like.
Nobody can see
That's
you.
like the 60.
You're not even getting clicks for these moves.
Yeah.
Package. So, oh my
Hold on a
goodness.
second. Hold on a
What do
second.
we got?
So many things. I guess we'll start with this box.
I'll hold it. You keep going.
Okay.
Okay.
This
Ooh.
is not your.
Have you ever
Shit.
watched an unboxing?
Mm-mm.
You don't root.
No, I haven't.
You don't.
Okay, it's a mug.
Oh, look at that.
A British mug.
What's the card say?
The card says M&G. M&G.
Mustard and gray fine bone china mug. That's not how they say it in Britain. We are delighted to partner with Duchess China in 1888 to bring you a splash of British-made authenticity with your morning brew. That's cool.
Beautiful.
A mug.
I feel like I'm in Great Britain just looking at it.
We have
Fish and chips. Fish and chips.
red, white, and blue
Bobbies.
things. Look at this, a double-decker.
Double decker.
That's what I was looking at.
If you don't know about the double decker,
I don't think that that's what that is.
It is a double-decker.
But it is something
it
that
is
we've
a
discussed.
Cadbury
Oh.
double decker.
Get
I thought that was the same thing.
pop.
We have
It's
more
not, it's different.
Oh, tell me that's
Cadbury.
flake. Oh.
Flake.
You know what that is?
Oh yeah.
What is it?
Yeah,
it's
what
a
is
candy
it?
bar.
Is it like a
It's a
Kit
chocolate-
Kat, but kind
No,
of like
no.
a vibe?
It's
Is
like
it like
it's like a flaky,
Butterfinger?
No, it's just a flaky chocolate bar.
Man, we're
So
gonna...
it's like Butterfinger but chocolate.
No, there's no.
No, it's
middle
like a
in it.
flake.
Oh, it's like a
Oh,
flake. Oh.
look at this.
Is that a corgi?
Yes,
Yes.
little
Little
British
corgis.
corgi socks.
Man,
didn't know
if you've
corgis were
got
British.
somebody who's like really into British
Oh man.
culture or from Britain, thebritkit.com. Seriously.
Everyone has a story. Fable England.
Open it.
This is a. I
Slide,
think
yeah.
it's jewelry. Oh. Ooh, jewelry.
What is it? What is it? Hannah, hurry. Open
I
it
know,
up.
I
So
What is
cute.
it?
Tell Dave Murray's gonna have to wait.
Well,
Look
he's
at
not
how
on till
pretty that
12:15.
is.
I know, but he's the first guy.
It's a necklace.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That is amazing.
Hold it up to the camera. Focus. It's a pretty little flower. Light's too bright. There it is. Had it for a second. That's really pretty.
Mhm.
So a
Jackie
necklace.
on YouTube says that's bloody great.
Lovely.
More stuff. This is coasters.
Cool.
So fun. Man, what a good gift this would be.
Mm-hmm.
Woo! This is. Let's see. It's from
A
Fable-
tiny blanket.
Just open it.
Looks like a pillowcase.
It's nothing to open.
That's not right.
In 2 minutes. You want
That's
me-
not right. Where's Fox News didn't hit? You need to go make Fox
Yep.
News hit.
There's nothing to open here.
Let's see here. Let's see. Here. You work on the next piece in the box, and I will see what this is.
Bonus gift for subscribers.
Ooh.
So this is the one you get if you get a Brick Kit
Cosmetic
subscription.
It's a scarf. It's a shawl.
Scarf.
Ooh. And this is a scarf.
Put that.
Wait a minute.
It's a shawl. Shawl. Will you wear this? For the
Yes.
first part of the
This
show?
is so incredibly soft.
Oh yeah.
Oh man. You know how soft that is, Ryan?
Which one's the? Which one? There we go.
We still have more. We are still going in the Brit Kit.
This is the last part. This is the
This
last
is-
part.
Oh!
That's the cosmetic bag.
And this is the best.
Oh, that's
Look
beautiful.
at that.
It
And
has
got
a
super
Is that a fox on there?
comfy.
yes. It's a cosmetic bag. So soft. Wow. I think that's all for the Brit Kit.
Well, it is thebritkit.com.
Man.
So much really awesome stuff here. This is definitely like a specialty gift for that person in your life. But man, if you've got somebody who's from Britain, who's missing home, who just has a really strong affinity for British culture, Queen Elizabeth approved. I mean, not like trademark TM, just assumed. Thebritkit.com. All right, let's talk about, Brad, you want to talk about what's on the show?
Yeah,
It's
so
up there.
where's my show sheet? Oh, here we go. So at 12:15, we're going to have Dave Murray back. He's going to give us a real quick update on what's going on with this storm front, whether or not we'll have a snowpocalypse, a white Christmas, a light dusting, what a Yankee Clipper is, or I mean an Alberta Clipper, and why Lou Gehrig is
Ooh.
part of that, and all of that. Then at 12:25, we're going to
Just like in
have
biblical
Shannon
times.
Bream on, and she's going to talk to us about a couple legal cases coming up. She's the host of Fox News Sundays with Shannon Bream. 107, Deroy Murdock. He'll be on. We're going to talk about the omnibus bill with him. Hans von Spakovsky is going to join us at 1:25. Since tomorrow's our Christmas show, he's going to join us today. And then at 1:45, we're going to have Todd Vandermyde. He is a former NRA lobbyist, and he's going to talk to us about Illinois HB 5855, which is the assault weapons ban. He had a very interesting interaction with a couple of lawmakers at a hearing on this bill, so we're excited to talk to him about that. We're going to give away some Cardinals tickets. I think we said
$220.
$220. And then we'll also have the poll results for the poll, which is which party will fare better in 2023? Will it be the GOP or the Democrats? So make sure you guys vote, and then put your comments of why you voted the way you voted in the chat so Hannah can star them and read them at the end of the show.
How's the brownie?
So good. You can get it at the Lantern in Lebanon, Illinois.
Imagine if somebody said, "Hey, I want you to meet my wife," and then this happened. And it was me.
The creepy laugh is the worst part about it. Am I right? All right. Thank you for everybody who participated in our unboxing. If this sounds like something that would be interesting to you in the future, you can send your stuff now. We will get to it in January and do an unboxing and give you all a shout out. We don't get paid for any of this. We just get brownies and stuff. That's kind of cool. If you'd like to participate, you can send it to 1220 Olive Street in St. Louis, Missouri, 63103, or you can just find Odyssey's address on the internet and send it. Make sure you put it care of the Annie Frey Show, and we will set it aside for the next unboxing that we do. All right, let's
the
get
most powerful
back to the
form
radio
of
show.
wave
We're gonna start it
therapy.
here in
This
just
is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain the spark in your bedroom, today is your day. Call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday, 314-530-7777.
Give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. The Steel Holiday Gift Guide has outdoor power tools and more for everyone on your list. Visit your local Steel dealer or go online to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Find yours.
Tony LaRussa here. Men, are you running out of stamina rounding third base? If so, call my friends at Victory Men's Health in O'Fallon, Illinois. Scoring at home is important, just as important as crossing the plate with the winning run. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not a married sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Well, happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. We are so glad that you are here. A couple days left here for us on the Annie Frey Show as a whole. And then, of course, we will take you into the year 2023 is right around the corner. Are you, Brad? Are you ready to start writing 2023?
Yeah, I'm ready to create a folder and our drive and all that stuff.
I have to pause more to think what year it is than I have to think of anything else. I don't write the year enough to get comfortable with the idea that it's 2022. 2020 seems fresh to me. 2020 last.
I agree with that.
It's weird.
Oh my gosh, it's incredibly odd. And like the weird thing to me too is it's like my clock on this show. Is how long have I been here? And it's like, oh, I've been over a year, like a year and a half already.
Yeah,
and it's like, holy
way
cow!
longer than that.
No, I wouldn't say that. I'd say seems like I'm still just getting my feet wet. So
I was putting together today's YouTube live chat poll, and it's which party will fare better in 2023, Republicans or Democrats? And it was weird to write 2023. So we will have you covered throughout the year in 2023. We will make sure that we have all of the latest information for you, of course. And that's an interesting poll in my mind, because I wonder how many of you are cynical and think the Republicans do anything, or if you think that the Republicans are going to dig up what they need to dig up and do the work that they've been sent there to do to make a difference. We're going to be paying attention to it, and it will be interesting to finally see a little bit of divided government and to make sure that what the Republican Party has achieved in 2022, which was not what the Republican Party was expecting to achieve in 2022, we'll see what that majority is capable of doing. I want to point out something that's going on in the state of Illinois, and we're going to speak with Dave Murray in about 7 minutes from right now to make sure that we know exactly where the storm is headed and when it's going to hit and how big it's going to be. The closer you get to when it's coming here, the better picture you can have to know what is actually going to take place. But in the meantime, before we get to Dave Murray, like I said, in about 7 minutes from now, I want to play for you a couple of things that are taking place in Illinois that should be on the front burner for Americans who, appreciate that Second Amendment. Listen to this from a hearing in Illinois.
has shifted and supported. Every time we've shifted and supported, we've been run over. Think about the FOID Modernization Act.
So this is a hearing that's taking place in Illinois over HB 5855. And this man, Ed Sullivan, is that really his name, Ed Sullivan? Is that right?
Yeah.
He is from the Illinois State Rifle Association, is talking about work that they've been willing to do with the Illinois legislature on gun issues. And the legislator asks him, if the opinion of the organization that you're affiliated with would shift, wouldn't your opinion here shift as well? And he's basically implying, there's going to have to be some bend and break and some compromise here.
That passed. We think it did a lot to help the process. And yet here we are a year and a half later, and we had a provision in there that said we're going to have an online portal for lost and stolen firearms. Great. We agreed to that. Don't ever make it mandatory. What did they do? In 2 years, through rules, the government is going to make it mandatory. They went back on their word. We had not only that, but they're now, when you have a person-to-person portal, they're making you register your firearm on that person-to-person portal to get the information that you need to sell that. If we work with you day in and day out, and I see Representative Stonebeck, and I understand people have their own views on what should take place. We negotiated the firearms restraining order. It was a difficult process. I talked to Representative Willis after it was passed. I said, if we're going to have this is the best bill in the country because it has due process for people. State Rifle Association supported that because we know what happened in Indiana and Connecticut. We know the how much it saved people's lives from suicide. And yet, what happened? A year later, it was changed, taking out the key piece that was negotiated on why we supported it. And so once again, we helped with that. When the state was going to pass the 24-hour ban or the 72-hour ban, it was a hot mess. It was going to criminalize gun dealers. And so we said, listen, don't pick out weapons, just make it all the same thing. I sat in Governor Rauner's office for hours on end to convince him to sign those things because we know what would have happened otherwise. It would have been worse. Yet you say that we're not helping. In the 2013 Concealed Carry Act, a good friend of mine sat on the House floor, Kelly Cassidy, and said, hey, meet me halfway. I'll vote for this, but meet me halfway. We have. When you ask for a gun ban, there is not a place that we can go where we can go and negotiate that. There's certain red lines in the sand. And I hate to say that, but there is.
If you don't know about HB 5855 in the state of Illinois, I don't care if you're not an Illinois resident. This is going to have implications across the country. And many legal minds think that the second this gets passed, it's going to go immediately to the courts. They've said that they're going to file an immediate injunction to try to get it stopped in its tracks. But you got to listen to what these people are saying.
My second question is for Mr. Weber.
So this is Representative Stoneback. She's from Skokie, Illinois, and she's been serving in the General Assembly since when? January 2021. She's new. She's fresh. Denise Stoneback from a suburb of Chicago.
Mr. Weber, have you... We've heard several different comments about constitutionality, and you are all claiming that this bill is unconstitutional under the Second Amendment. Is that correct?
I don't believe I made that claim in my testimony.
Okay, so we've heard that testimony from this panel.
Yes.
Yes. Can you are you familiar with the Second Amendment? Can you recite the Second Amendment to us?
I am not a lawyer, so the constitutionality of the bill, it's not something I'm here to speak to the subject matter of 5855.
Mr. Vandermyde,
27 words. All regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Okay. Is there any mention of an individual's right to a gun for self-defense or recreation in the Second Amendment?
Yes. The people. Same as the First Amendment, same as the Fourth Amendment, same as the Ninth Amendment.
There is not a single word about an individual's right to a gun for self-defense or recreation in the Second Amendment.
Whew! Oh! Yeah, that was said out loud. Her name is Denise Stoneback. This may come as a shock to you, but she lost her primary, so she's almost done. But boy, are they going to take those ideas and run with them. Todd Vandermyde, he's going to be on the show with us at 1:42, and he's the one who steps in with the 27 words of the Second Amendment that do indicate that you do have an individual right to exercise your Second Amendment, to individual right to a gun shall not be infringed. There's more where that came from, and I really, really need folks to know that this is taking place and the timing of it being this hearing right before Christmas, and it's going to be going into more conversations here right around when you're not paying attention. You need to know what's going on.
My second question is for Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber, have you... We've heard several different comments about constitutionality, and you are all claiming that this bill is unconstitutional under the Second Amendment. Is that correct?
I don't believe I made that claim in my testimony.
Okay, so we've heard that testimony from this panel.
Yes.
Yes. Can you are you familiar with the Second Amendment? Can you recite the Second Amendment to us?
I am not a lawyer, so the constitutionality of the bill, it's not something I'm here to speak to the subject matter of 5855.
Mr. Vandermyde,
27 words. All regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
That's what you need to know. This guy knows what he's talking about. He is prepared with the information, and boy, are the people of Illinois about to watch this legal battle unfold. They certainly are. I don't understand where these individuals go and so boldly suggest that the Constitution is only there for a specific amount of purpose, only now changing the definition and the understanding of what it is. It's good that we have people advocating for your Second Amendment rights. It's good that we have people who are willing to step up, but in Illinois, will anybody hear them?
For Mr. Weber, have you visited the headquarters of the NRA in Fairfax, Virginia?
Yes.
And can you tell me what in the 1950s used to be the words that were on the NRA headquarters building?
In the 1950s?
Yes.
Well, I don't believe that was the same building that I visited that is currently our headquarters, so no, I could not.
So I would like to say that metal letters on the facade spelled out the purpose of the NRA: firearm safety education, marksmanship training, and shooting for recreation. And are you familiar with the words that are in the facade currently?
I'm not
or
sure
in the lobby.
What building you're referencing. We have a few
NRA
offices.
headquarters in Fairfax, Virginia.
I've been there, okay.
Are you familiar with it?
I'm familiar with the building.
You're familiar with the building, but you do not recall what exactly is printed on the building.
This is the argument that is being made for HB 5855, which is going to limit magazines that are 10, that have a capacity of 10 or more. The definition, we went through this in detail on the show. I have a long thread on my Twitter that copies and pastes and cuts and pastes the exact verbiage from HB 5855. In the state of Illinois, this is going to be a huge constitutional battle, and we need to be paying attention to it. So we're going to speak with Todd Vandermyde at 1:45. He's a former lobbyist for the NRA, but he was at that hearing challenging Representative Stoneback on this particular issue. Stay aware, because if they're trying it in Illinois, they're doing it so that they can get to you in whatever state that you live in. Let's take a quick break from that and go to one of our favorite guests of the week here. Dave Murray joins us once again, 97.1 chief meteorologist, to talk to us about that snowstorm and bitter cold that's headed our way. Dave, welcome back. What can you tell us about the development of the storm?
It's not a lot has changed over the last 24 hours since we last talked. I still like all the ideas that I've got on the table. It's not today. It's not tonight. It's not even tomorrow morning in the morning rush. There could be a little bit of light rain in the morning, maybe a little wet snow. That would probably be about it. The main event is it's a 3-part system as far as what it's going to bring. But the main event is from, let's say, noon tomorrow. We're living on borrowed time, but noon to 6 is going to be the window of opportunity of this system. And I think, again, by 8 or 9 o'clock, the snow is long gone. Again, the 3 parts, we're going to have a hit of snow, fast and furious. That's not major in my mind, other than that we're going to get some snow. I still kind of like the idea of a fast 3, maybe 4 inches of snow in that 6-hour period. But the bigger thing is the wind, and the winds are going to kick into gear very quickly Thursday afternoon at 40-plus miles per hour, and the temperature is going to drop like a rock. We will be above freezing in the morning on Thursday, but by the time the sun goes down, so about 4:30 or so, we're going to be about 8 degrees. So that's a tremendous temperature drop in a very short period of time. So any moisture that we get is going to kind of flash freeze on the roadways. So the roads are going to be really tough tomorrow afternoon. Afternoon rush should be a mess. And it's just not the icy roads and the snow. It's the wind that's going to be blowing cars around, and they're going to be really rattling some windows here. This is not let's have just a little bit of wind and a little bit of gust. This wind is going to be with us for over 12 hours, maybe even 18 hours. So it's a tough weather situation. I wouldn't be surprised if you start hearing maybe some blizzard warnings go in effect tomorrow afternoon. But remember, a blizzard, it does not have to be a lot of snow. It doesn't even have to be snowing. That is going to be the effect of blowing snow that's going to reduce visibilities very quickly on Thursday afternoon. So the idea here is, if you don't have to do much of anything Thursday afternoon and Thursday night and into Friday morning, because the winds and the cold are going to be brutal, that's a good time to just kind of hunker in and say, let's just ride this thing out.
For sure. Before we let you go, we're speaking with Dave Murray. He's the 97.1 chief meteorologist, has been on top of the storm all this week and will continue to be here on 97.1 FM Talk. Your advice for people, if they have the ability to head off the traffic before the storm sets in, what time should they try to be home if they're in the St. Louis area tomorrow to avoid it?
I think, again, if we're any time past noontime Thursday, you're going to put yourself in a position where you probably don't want to be out in this. And this is not going to be like our typical snow that kind of slowly moves into the St. Louis area and does its thing, kind of gentle, and then it kind of moves out. This is going to be like slamming the door. The snow is going to start very, very quickly. It will become rather heavy for about 2 or 3 hours, where we could see an inch an hour in some cases. And the wind and the cold is going to happen at the exact same time. So it's not like okay, hey, it's starting to snow and it's 34 degrees right now. So that's okay. But, in 15 minutes, it could be 22 degrees. And in a half hour, it could be 14 degrees, kind of thing. So it's going to go downhill very, very quickly.
So you said yesterday, I think you said 2 to 4 inches. That's still your guesstimate at this point?
Yeah, I was going about 3 to 4, and I still kind of like that number. It will be a very dry, powdery snow, and that's why blowing snow is going to be an issue tomorrow afternoon and tomorrow night. And that's going to make some travel pretty tough. And by Thursday overnight into Friday morning, the temperature is going to be 0 to -5. That's the actual temperature, and the wind chill is going to be -25 going out the door on Friday morning. That's brutal. That's really tough cold. Some of the coldest stuff we've seen since 2014 anyway. It's going to be really close to the brutal cold snap of 1989 in December right before Christmas, and that was an unbelievable cold snap. We're not going to be quite that intense, but the winds are going to be similar.
Well, Dave, we appreciate your advice, your expertise, and your forewarning here. We will heed it and stay close to your forecast as we move through the next few days. They're going to be really important. We appreciate you.
All righty. We'll check in tomorrow with you.
All right. Sounds great. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Bye-bye. 97.1 Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray there. Let's take a quick break. We got to hurry back. Why? Shannon Bream from Fox News is going to be on the show. She's the host of Fox News Sunday with Shannon Bream. We're going to talk to her a little bit about the Supreme Court, and I'm also going to talk to her about her book, The Mothers and Daughters of the Bible Speak. Going into the Christmas weekend, that's a pretty appropriate conversation to have, don't you think? Shannon Bream on the Annie Frey Show. Just a minute.
I'd better scurry, or maybe just a half a drink more.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Here comes the storm, and you don't have a snow and ice removal contractor. Go to stlfenceworks.com and schedule snow and ice removal service now. For fully insured commercial snow and ice removal on demand, contact STL Fenceworks today.
Hey, here's a holiday gift from Bed Bath & Beyond. Between now and Christmas, get 25% off your entire purchase by texting JOY to 239663. That's 239663. New offers every day at Bed Bath & Beyond. Exclusions apply. See website for details.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
Stuart's American Mortgage. Online, it's you can go to Google the Bagel Loan. It's really what he prefers. Or you can call him at 314-324-4440. Stewie is helping people right now get out of extra deep credit card debt if you need to do a mortgage refinance because the rates keep going up and up and up. And when you are looking to secure that debt and get rid of it, and you've got equity in your house, even though the rates on mortgages have gone up, maybe this is a good common sense thing for you to do to get your personal economy back in order. One of the things about rates right now on mortgages is that even though they are higher than they have been in some time, they have still come down in the last few months. When you use the Bagel Loan at Stuart's American Mortgage, you don't pay fees that other lenders out there will charge you for. So you can reach out to Stewie at 314-324-4440. You can call him, you can text him, and ask him how he can help you. Stewie does business the old-fashioned way, where when you call that number, that's his cell phone. You reach out to him, you do business with him, he walks you through the whole process so that you can improve your economic situation in a way that you completely understand and are excited to move forward with. 314-324-4440. You can Google the Bagel Loan, NMLS number 226715.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer.
Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
97.1 is happy to partner with SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital.
It's to help the Cardinal Glennon kids, and giving comes in various shapes and sizes.
Text 20357 to give a Christmas gift to the Tree of Hope. That's 20357.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
So here's the thing which is important. You can say, I've got a specialized product, but you can't stop people from accessing the product. Now, you could go on JDate and say, I'm not Jewish, but I want to date Jews. Maybe people would want to date you. But what JDate or any other website can't say is, you're not welcome here. It's like a bookstore. You can sell only Jewish books, but you can't say you can't buy the books. Or cookies, Star of David cookies, only Jews can buy them. If you start discriminating based on religion, who can buy products and services, we're going to really undermine our civil rights protection.
So there's a Supreme Court case right now regarding web designers and the refusal to work on same-sex weddings with these websites, which is interesting to think. I've been married for 15 years, and now you get a website. It used to be like thenot.com, and that has everything. Now I guess you need a website to get married. And this web designer is saying, I don't want to work on same-sex weddings. At least that's the way I understand it. And when we're looking at what's going on in the Supreme Court, there's one expert that we seek out to talk to, and if we can get her, we clear our schedules, and that's Shannon Bream. She's a Fox News chief legal correspondent and, of course, host of Fox News Sunday with Shannon Bream. Shannon, thank you so much for giving us some of your time on a holiday week. We appreciate you being here.
Annie, it's always a treat to be with you.
Well, I appreciate that as well. Can you tell us a little bit about this Supreme Court case and where it is and what it might mean for these freedoms in the future?
Yeah, I'd love to. So they just weeks ago heard a case that involves a web designer out of Colorado, and a couple things going on there. Although she says her conviction is that she wants to serve people of any background, and she says she's got LGBTQ clients, she is not, as you know, the soundbite that you played there, she's not selling to people on the basis of a certain background or protected characteristic. But what she's saying is, I won't craft specific custom artistic things for somebody for any message that I don't want to support. So she says, if there was something of violence or something that violates my faith beliefs, whatever it is, I won't do a custom project for them. So she's there at the Supreme Court, not arguing on the basis of religious faith or religious liberty, but she's arguing on the issue of free speech. It's the way that the court has taken up this case. So she says, Colorado tells me I have to do web designs for everybody, for every background, for every potential, union or joining or marriage. And she says, I don't want to be forced to endorse a message or forced to endorse certain speech in violation of my free speech rights under the First Amendment. So they've heard the case, and now we wait for a decision.
So the Supreme Court, it's always one of those things that, not for you, Shannon Bream, but for the rest of us, mere mortals, when it comes to what's going on in that branch of government. It's always quiet, and then all of a sudden these big stories end up coming out, and the news covers them, and everyone's like, wait, what's going on here? What are the implications based on what the Supreme Court could decide? Or, sometimes it seems like it ends in a tie and that they choose not to rule on it. What can happen with this case?
Yeah, and it reminds us of the baker out of Colorado, Jack Phillips, a few years back. They decided a case that essentially was in his favor, said that he'd been mistreated by the lower courts and the administrative body. bodies there in Colorado, but didn't settle this question on this really tricky idea of the intersection of rights of people who say they have religious convictions and the rights of people who are in the LGBTQ plus community, and protecting them against discrimination. I think this case sets it up where they finally have to make a decision on the merits there. So it could impact a lot of things. And it's beyond just this debate over marriage, because I think everybody knows that is settled here in the United States. It's more about whether business people can be instructed that they have to participate or do custom designs as artists for people, for any issue, like I said, marriage or otherwise, that they disagree with. Justice Gorsuch kind of summed it up in some of his questioning during the arguments. He said, what you're telling me is not about who, it's about what. So you'll do business with anybody, but it's the message, the what, that you're not willing to do. And her attorney said, yes, that's basically what this is about. Now, there were worries by the more liberal members of the court saying, well, what if somebody wants to set up a Santa Claus display in the mall and it's going to be Norman Rockwell depictions? So it's only going to be a representation of maybe the 40s, and all the kids in those pictures were white kids, so they won't do pictures with kids of any other background, which sounds ludicrous to us. But I think that justices are always trying to look at the far-ranging impacts potentially of what they're going to decide, who could take their decision to any one extreme.
Yeah, it's very fascinating to watch how these discussions play out, because to me, I'm looking for answers. Like, what's the answer to all this? But it seems like court cases are just a bunch of questions, and they just keep asking, but what if this and what if that? And
exactly.
And in a country that values freedoms and liberties, and often, bears to the side of those freedoms and liberties, it's like you can come to a conclusion and it doesn't seem to answer all of the questions. In fact, sometimes it just causes more questions to be asked.
Yeah, and the truth is, I think Americans, by and large, are good people who want to find a way to respect each other, that they can have differences over really difficult issues. I think that there are extremes on either end who are very much about forcing other people to comply with the way they see things. But I think most Americans are like, listen, I don't care what my neighbor's up to. I care about them. We help each other when the power goes out, or we watch each other's kids. Or, I think most of America is in that place and says, let's find some kind of solution, if possible, that can work for everybody to coexist.
I want to talk to you, Shannon, in just a second about your book, The Mothers and Daughters of the Bible Speak, as we go into this Christmas weekend. But before I get to that, can you provide us any distinction over the last week, since I have you here, the big celebration that took place at the White House, President Biden signing into law legalized same-sex marriage or something, and then it turned into a conversation about transgender youth and so on and so forth. Many people are saying this has already been taken care of. Like, this has already been done. Was there anything in what took place in this Biden administration, this Biden signing, that furthered any sorts of freedoms or, clarifications on the issue?
Most folks on both sides of the issue will tell you, if they're being honest, no. The Supreme Court settled this in the Obergefell decision. There was no state that's banning same-sex marriage. There's no state that's banning interracial marriage. And it was seen as something that could be a rallying point for the White House, for their base to feel like, look, they're doing something important and this is positive and good. But nobody, if they're being honest with you, and I've had many people on both sides of this say to me, like, listen, it changed nothing. It was just a nice, codification or reminder that this administration made some promises. They're trying to help on that front, but it didn't change anything legally. Now, on the right, you will have some people who say they actually feel like it puts them in a worse position because they are afraid that religious organizations and universities and schools may be now caught up in this, that there will be a private right of action or cause of action that people can take them to court if they don't fully adhere to the idea of same-sex unions and marriages. So, they added some religious liberty protections to the bill before it went through, but I still continue to hear from people who advocate for religious groups on the right that they think it wasn't enough protection.
Yeah, the question, and I think about that, the initial conversation we're having about the websites and saying, if there's a message I don't want to endorse, that's on a free speech platform. But if you're a church or a religion, it's certainly not just Christianity that would say we don't endorse same-sex marriages. Do you still have that religious right in the United States of America to refuse to marry same-sex people and have legal standing?
Yeah, there's nothing that would ever in this, and they were very clear in the law too, like you cannot force a church to recognize or perform any specific marriage that goes against the tenets of whatever their faith is. So that's not really an issue. It's things I think that are worried about, like Christian schools or, any kind of Orthodox school or even a Muslim school that, worries that some more traditional Orthodox religious schools or organizations would feel like they may be forced to endorse a message of something that is in conflict with the tenets of their faith about whatever it is. And so those are the organizations that are worried, but no one is telling churches that they have to perform certain marriages. That does not result from this law.
Well, Shannon Bream is with us right now, and I would be remiss if I didn't mention your book, The Mothers and Daughters of the Bible Speak, Lessons on Faith from 9 Biblical Families. This weekend, Christians certainly celebrate one of those, marquee biblical families, but you delve into a lot of other stories that maybe people haven't studied as much. This is a fantastic Christmas gift for people who might still be looking for the right thing for that loved one in their life. But I want to ask you, the motivation behind these stories, the mothers and the daughters, and what you have learned in putting these books together.
My goodness. For one thing, we do have some beautiful relationships we can see there, like Moses' mother and sister, and how they saved him as a little baby, and the amazing story of his life. But also I talk about people that are more like spiritual mothers and daughters. You don't have to be a biological mom in order to go out and shepherd or help other young people out there. And, we have the story of Elizabeth and Mary, who were cousins, but in ways were spiritual mentors and helpers to each other. Elizabeth, of course, was pregnant with John the Baptist, who was the forerunner of Mary, was carrying baby Jesus, and how they bonded through that time and supported each other as women, and it led to what happens on Christmas Day. Not technically, but what we celebrate on Christmas Day. So I just think there are a lot of beautiful relationships between women, and I found a ton of encouragement and learned a lot of new things, and I agree. It's a good gift, and it's anywhere you can find a book.
Yeah, fantastic. We appreciate you, and I love learning more about the personalities that we're connected to being a Fox News Radio affiliate here in St. Louis, the people who we watch and listen to. You do fantastic work trying to get to the truth in a way that is super consumable and not off-putting at all. Shannon, we appreciate your time here, and we hope that you have a very Merry Christmas with your loved ones.
Thanks, Annie. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, everyone.
You as well. Bye-bye. Shannon Bream, a Fox News chief legal correspondent, host of Fox News Sunday with Shannon Bream, author of the book, The Mothers and Daughters of the Bible Speak. She has several in this series. She has workbooks that go along with it. So if you are looking for a gift for a loved one, go out and check that out. I think that you'll really enjoy it. I don't think that there's a more pleasant person in cable news. Would you agree with that?
I would agree with that 100%. Every time I hear her.
I defy you to find something dislikable about her.
Yeah, I can't. Why would I even try?
Is it dislikable to have nothing dislikable about you?
No.
This is what a cynical person would say.
Yes.
I feel like I could spend time with Shannon Bream and I would always come away happier. And that's very, very good in cable news because it's rare. So grateful that she gave us some time on a busy week. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, Wiggins America here in studio on the Annie Frey Show. He's got a game for us to play. And it's going to be about something to do with the Ukraine spending. Yeah, you watching what the Democrats and Republicans are trying to do here in Washington, D.C.? Speaking of the Grinch, just wants to steal all your money and give it to Zelensky, who apparently is en route to the White House. Super. Let's be right back in just a minute. Don't go away.
I wouldn't touch you with a 39.5-foot pole.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
You have termites in your smile. You have all
Surprise! Surprise! Surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
The go-to snack that is sure to please everyone, FireCreekSnacks.com is the website. Fire Creek snack sticks are in Schnuck stores around you. If you haven't seen them in your Schnuck store, ask where they are located. If they're out, ask them to get more. Fire Creek snacks are just really, really delicious meat snacks that are really wrapped in a way that is super transportable. You can throw them in your purse, your office desk. You can hand them to your kiddos, and they can make it through the backpack, and they are going to be intact. They have no artificial ingredients involved. You can feel good eating a Fire Creek snack stick that you are not putting a bunch of junk into your body. They are gluten-free. They are soy-free. They are MSG-free. They're high in protein, low in sugar, and very convenient, as I said, to take around. They are delicious. All of the things that go into making a food a health food often sacrifice flavor. These aren't made to be a health food. They're just made to be a basic, delicious meat snack stick that you can take with you and feel good about eating wherever you go. FireCreekSnacks.com is the website. Use promo code Annie on the website to place your order today. And when you use the promo code Annie at FireCreekSnacks.com, you're going to save 15% on your order. FireCreekSnacks.com.
Here comes the storm, and you don't have a snow and ice removal contractor. Go to STLFenceworks.com and schedule snow and ice removal service now. For fully insured commercial snow and ice removal on demand, contact STL Fenceworks today.
Have you always dreamed of a lush green lawn? Get that beautiful curb appeal without the hassle by calling Professional Irrigation Systems. They'll install your new automatic lawn sprinkler system and give you a variety of options and warranties. Don't spend half your day lugging a hose around watering your lawn. Let Professional Irrigation Systems do the work for you. They offer spring activations, backflow testing, mid-season tune-ups, and winterization. Call the pros that have been in business for 20 years. Professional Irrigation Systems. Online at proirrigation.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 is happy to partner with SSM Health, Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Text 20357 to give a Christmas gift to the Tree of Hope. That's 20357. This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. We're glad that you're here with us this afternoon, the Wednesday before Christmas Day. And we're glad that you're here. Just got done speaking with Shannon Bream. Love her. I respect her. And she had some very interesting commentary from her chief legal correspondent perspective regarding that Supreme Court case surrounding the website designer who doesn't want to build same-sex wedding websites. It's a free speech issue, not a religious issue, according to what Shannon Bream just told us. And that in conjunction with what was done at the White House last week with Joe Biden's officially making same-sex marriage legal again. I can't wait till they pass it again right before the next election. I'm really looking forward to be super, super legal for same-sex couples to get married. Like super duper, super ultra legal, some might say. Anyway, so if you didn't get to hear that on the Odyssey app, 1225, you can rewind to about then. And Shannon Bream joined us, and we talked about that and her book. All right, Wiggins America, let's do it.
It's Wiggins America.
Yep, sounded a little bit different today because if you recall, when we were talking about the original spending bill for Ukraine, we did a little segment where we compared different things throughout the world, what they cost in comparison to what we're spending in Ukraine. So that's kind of what's happening right now, although I decided to focus on things beyond just Ukraine because the U.S. Congress is trying to spend $1.7 trillion from now through next September. That's what's being floated anyway. And I figured I'd look at what's in that bill and ask you guys in the room whether or not, here's the benchmark. Since it's local here, we all kind of know about the news about what the Rams and the NFL have to pay St. Louis. And when we heard that number, jaw-dropping. It's huge. Some people wanted it to be more, but there's been all kinds of legal fights over, oh my gosh, we have to pay $790 million to St. Louis area municipalities for breaking that contract. That's a lot of money. And it's going to change a lot of things in this area. So I figured let's use that as the benchmark for other things that are in this government spending bill. And you guys can tell me whether or not they are more or less than the NFL and the Rams had to pay St. Louis. Good with that?
I'm in.
Okay. She's looking at me. She's deciding.
No, we're here. We're doing it. I'm just not 100% sure I know what I'm supposed to do about foul Bradley.
You're just going to tell me over under, basically. Is it more than what the NFL and the Rams,
more?
whatever these random things I'm going to bring up.
That are in the omnibus bill.
In the new spending bill.
And the amount that we're over-undering is?
$790 million. Okay. That is what St. Louis area is getting from the NFL and the Rams. All right, number 1, federal government land acquisitions. Just random for them to buy up land.
The number is the
$790 million.
So we're saying this is over or less. I'll say over.
I'm going to say under.
Annie is right on this one. It is over. Federal government land acquisitions, $900 million at their discretion to buy whatever land they want. How about the EPA, Environmental Protection Agency? Let me get specific here. Increases. So not their normal budget, just the amount that it's going to increase year over year for things like environmental justice.
It's very specific. Want to just go with over?
Yeah, over.
I kind of tricked you on that one. It's just under, but the total budget is over $10 billion a year, but it's going up by $672 million. Oh my gosh. For things like environmental justice. How about this? Shared equity housing models.
Over.
Over? I don't even know what that is.
This is a whole category. I'll just read a few here. Shared equity housing models, gender advisor programs for the Pentagon specifically. Yeah, let's just go with those. They're both about the same.
Over.
Now they're both under, but they are significant. 4 million, 8.6 million. The thing about gender advisor programs just for the Pentagon is 8.6 million, but if you add in all of the different gender programs, it's about the same as what the NFL is having to pay St. Louis. U.S. attorneys' fees.
Over.
with emphasis on January 6th written in the bill. And he's going over.
I'm going to go over.
You are both, in fact, correct. It is way
billions.
Over. It is in the billions that the U.S. is spending on attorneys' fees, with emphasis in this bill on January 6th. $2.63 billion. So many of these numbers, and I'll read a couple more here, but it's just staggering. I was trying to find something that's local so we could try to compare it to it. It's amazing how much of this stuff is in there that if I was trying to make a movie, I'd try to get a budget for maybe $1 million, which is a really cheap movie. And you look at shared equity housing models is $4 million. What does that even, where does that go? I don't even know what that does. Here you go. Speaking of TV and movies, Corporation for Public Broadcasting.
Over.
Under.
It is just slightly under at $535 million. Remember when Trump took office and he was talking about we need to cut this funding? And everybody's like, oh, it's not that much. $535 million goes to the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, which supports PBS and NPR. Similar for minority health research. I'll save you that one. It's about 524. Title X. This is the program that funds Planned Parenthood and along with family planning and reproductive health. More or less.
Over.
Over.
You are correct. It is over $790 million being paid to Planned Parenthood and combined with family planning and reproductive health, $861 million to those programs. Here's one that I wanted to mention simply because I wanted to know what you thought. I would like to know what the definition of this even is. Minority-owned business development.
What is that?
Well, it's under, so I'll tell you ahead of time. It's $70 million. And I would love to see, as a conservative, I love to see business development. I love to encourage business development, regardless of who's running it. But what are we spending $70 million on to encourage people to open businesses? It's incredible.
Well, like if I had, like, if you had to be reasonable about it, I would say you're spending it on grants instead of having to take out a loan, a minority-owned business could take out a grant to expand their business or something like that, and then if they meet certain parameters, then not have to pay that monies back, or those monies back. But
that's very possible. But you can't get it unless you check all the boxes. $70 million there for you. The last one on my list here, I saved it for last on purpose. Border security for Middle Eastern nations. So not our own.
Over.
Not our own. It's not quite there, but it's close. It's $410 million for Lebanon, for Syria, for their borders to be secured. Meanwhile, our border is getting almost nothing in this bill. And in fact, they're, of course, as we know, taking everything they can away from it to open it up as much as possible. So that's the majority of them that I've pulled there. In comparison to this big news story of, it's just amazing, isn't it? How big that news was about the Rams and the NFL, and then these things pass and nobody ever talks about them. I mean, they're just like leaves in the wind.
What's interesting, because this is government money or private money into government money as far as taxes and stuff like that, whereas the St. Louis one was private business losing a lawsuit to the governments and having to pay money in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, speaking of Ukraine, I mean, we could do that one over under.
Over.
Yeah, that one's way over. It's another, $47 billion. So there you go. That's what is being kicked around right now in U.S. Congress. What may soon pass with even some Republican help in the Senate.
Do you think it's going to pass? I mean, it's got to get through, does it have to get through the House still, or does it have to get through the Senate?
Where it's at and where it's being kicked back and forth, I couldn't tell you. I know that I've seen the list of names of Republicans who are either considering or have said they're going to support it, and it's enough to get it past the Senate. So.
All right. 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
Kevin McCarthy breaks with McConnell and is going to oppose this, of course. Kevin McCarthy's separation with Mitch McConnell from Fox News will reportedly come at the GOP lunch meeting today, just a day after Senate leadership agreed to the omnibus. So according to Punchbowl News, they're reporting this. Congress is expected to give a final vote on the package later today. House Republicans, like Representative Bishop from North Carolina, have taken issue with the specific aspects of the bill, aside from its huge price tag. Bishop pointed to what he calls a sinister portion of the bill that allots nearly $600 million to encourage family planning in places where human population growth threatens animal biodiversity.
Yeah.
Malthusianism is a disturbing anti-human ideology that should have zero place in any federal program, according to Bishop on Twitter. Republican infighting over the spending bill comes as President Zelensky from Ukraine is visiting Washington, D.C. for the first time since Russia's invasion has begun. The $1.7 trillion package also includes $45 billion in military funding for the war-torn country. Fox News reports, while McCarthy has called for more scrutiny on funding to Ukraine and an end to blank checks, McConnell says he is all in on continuing to fund Ukraine's defense. According to McConnell, as he spoke with reporters, providing assistance for Ukrainians to defeat the Russians is the number one priority for the United States right now, according to most Republicans. We can hear from Kevin McCarthy on this specific issue here. Let's listen in.
Before the election, I explained to everybody, no more blank checks for Ukraine. We want to make sure where the money's spent, what's the strategy behind it. But this is exactly what they're doing again. They moved a continuing resolution to right before Christmas. They're trying to pass this where nobody can read it. You're correct. You have Leahy and Shelby, two senators who will no longer be senators 14 days from now, write a bill that they wouldn't even show anybody. Then they're going to have the House of Representatives tell them, you can't leave for Christmas until you vote on this. Well, you know what? The American people are smarter than this. The American people understand. They want to stop wasting money causing more inflation. They want to have a say in this process.
So Kevin McCarthy is saying no more blank checks for Ukraine. Stop this omnibus right now, Mitch McConnell.
Making sure the Defense Department can deal with the major threats coming from Russia and China. Providing assistance for the Ukrainians to defeat the Russians. That's the number one priority for the United States right now, according to most Republicans. That's sort of how we see the challenges confronting the country at the moment.
So when you listen to Senator Mike Lee, he is where I think a lot of, especially conservative Republicans, are right now on yet another monstrous spending bill.
This monstrous spending bill clocks in at 4,155 pages. It was released in the middle of the night. We've had it for only a few hours. And now we're being told Congress needs to vote on and pass this thing on an expedited basis. Some are saying, within the next 48 to 72 hours. By doing that, they're acknowledging the fact that they're treating what is fundamentally a legislative proposal. I mean, let's be serious about this. This is a handful, like 4 or 5 people in Congress wrote this. And they put it together. They introduced it in the middle of the night, in the early morning hours of today. And now they're wanting to collapse all hearings, all floor debates, all discussions in earnest about this and say you just have to pass it because this is what the process is.
The American people are watching right now, and I think a lot of people are understanding that the gross overspending of this federal government is causing a lot of the economic problems that we're experiencing today. They didn't vote that way en masse in the midterms. We'll see what 2023 brings. Go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Which party will fare better in 2023, Republicans or Democrats? Deroy Murdock, when we come back.
Guys, 2022's been a roller coaster year, so spoil her this Christmas by giving her the next best thing to wearing nothing at all with soft, silky, naturally nude pajamas exclusively from Pajamagram. Sensuous and smooth, naturally nude pajamas feel just like her own bare skin, even more alluring than lingerie. The texture and touch of these pajamas is so seductive that you'll both love the feel of them. She'll love the feeling of wearing next to nothing at all, and you'll love the way they look. Best of all, Pajamagram does the wrapping for you with free gift packaging. Order today, and Pajamagram will also include a free matching naturally nude nightie with the purchase of naturally nude pajamas. That is free gift packaging and a free naturally nude nightie when you order today. Just go to Pajamagram.com. It's fast, easy, and delivery by Christmas is guaranteed. That's Pajamagram.com.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. Call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Ukrainian president on U.S. soil. Lisa Brady, Fox News. President Volodymyr Zelensky due at the White House at this hour, posting a statement ahead of his meeting with President Biden saying he's in Washington to offer thanks. The president of the U.S. is drawing down nearly $2 billion more in military assistance for Ukraine.
Ukraine will not only receive the Patriot missile defense system, but also precision-guided bombs, which is a big deal in this. President Zelensky is expected to thank Congress for that, but also continue pushing for more aid as this war drags on.
Fox's Nate Foy in Kyiv. Zelensky will address a joint meeting of Congress tonight. His trip follows a visit to an eastern Ukrainian city where frontline troops gave him a gift.
A signed Ukrainian flag meant to be delivered to the United States Congress, something that he promised them he would do. It now appears that those soldiers were aware of his travel plans.
Zelensky's first trip out of Ukraine since the war began. Russia's president, meantime, vowing again to achieve his goals in Ukraine. Wind chill alerts from Canada to Mexico on the backside of a storm system that's also making a mess on its way across the U.S.
Flights are already being impacted as a winter storm moves from the northwest across the Rockies and into the plains. But Arctic air is following the storm, so with snow and wind and rain will come freezing temperatures. By Friday, for example, the high forecast for Atlanta, Georgia is 24 degrees. Snow is expected Thursday into Friday in Chicago, where O'Hare Airport is a major connecting hub, with a high temperature there on Friday expected to be 2 degrees. While the weather will impact holiday flights, officials are also warning of dicey road conditions and possible power outages in places.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. Police in New York City confirming an officer was shot in the foot earlier today and that the suspect in custody used an illegal gun and has 17 prior arrests in Georgia. America is listening to Fox News.
If you have certain chronic conditions, such as
heart disease,
asthma,
diabetes,
and you're 19 years of age or older,
52,
36,
42,
you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I'm going to ask my doctor
about getting vaccinated
with Prevnar 20.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather.
No weather concerns at all until we get into Thursday afternoon. That is the main event. A little bit of light rain, wet snow in the morning on Thursday, but it's all snow, a fast and furious snow after 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. Snow all afternoon. That's the heaviest part. On Friday, only 10. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hey, this is Brad.
And Hannah.
Producers for The Annie Frey Show.
We've gotten our hands on some Cardinal ticket packs and we want to give them to you for Christmas.
So listen to us on The Annie Frey Show for your chance to win.
A different Cardinals ticket pack every day on The Annie Frey Show. All this week from noon to 3.
Dream Nissan. Dream Nissan Midwest. No matter what your credit situation, if you bring home $250 a week, your credit's approved, guaranteed. Every new Nissan at Dream Nissan comes with our lifetime warranty. 100% complimentary. With our huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, we have the perfect car, truck, or SUV that fits your budget. Dream Nissan, putting your dreams in your driveway. Go to DreamNissanMidwest.com or stop by our newest location in Wood River, Illinois. Dream Nissan, putting your dreams in your driveway.
I'm Howard Mackler of GetRefunds.com. You may have heard me talk about the payroll tax refund program that gives businesses up to $26,000 for every employee they kept on payroll during COVID. But today, I'm not going to do the talking. I'm letting a real Get Refunds client tell you everything.
I'm Ray, owner of Manzi Insurance and Real Estate. I heard about the payroll tax refund and GetRefunds.com on the radio. When COVID hit my business, I scrambled to figure out how to protect our employees and customers while still being able to service our clients' needs. They got me approved for a payroll tax refund, and with that money, it allowed me to upgrade our technology to provide the means for some employees to work remote while also protecting those that return to the office. If you have a business, you should go to GetRefunds.com and start your claim today.
GetRefunds.com helped their business, and we can help yours too. Go to GetRefunds.com and see if you qualify in just 8 minutes. GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
Here comes the storm, and you don't have a snow and ice removal contractor. Go to STLFenceworks.com and schedule snow and ice removal service now. For fully insured commercial snow and ice removal on demand, contact STL Fenceworks today.
If you're trying to sell a home, there's only one agent in town that I trust, Mark and Neil Gelman of eXp Realty. My friends Mark and Neil have the best system, options, and strategies to connect you to the best qualified buyers, getting your home sold fast and for top dollar. Go to thegelmanteam.com.
Ready for the holidays? Order fine jewelry from Shane Company by December 23rd to get it in time for Christmas. Shipping is fast and free. Oohs and ahs are guaranteed.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business.
Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Sunbelt Solomon is hiring. Travel across Missouri and Illinois to tear down power transformers. You'll be home most nights and weekends and offered full benefits, including 401k with a match, plus paid sick and vacation time. Apply today at sunbeltsolomon.com. That's sunbeltsolomon.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Before the election, I explained to everybody, no more blank checks for Ukraine. We want to make sure where the money's spent, what's the strategy behind it. But this is exactly what they're doing again. They moved a continuing resolution to right before Christmas. They're trying to pass this where nobody can read it. You're correct. You have Leahy and Shelby, two senators who will no longer be senators 14 days from now, write a bill that they wouldn't even show anybody. Then they're going to have the House of Representatives tell them, you can't leave for Christmas until you vote on this. Well, you know what? The American people are smarter than this. The American people understand. They want to stop wasting money causing more inflation. They want to have a say in this process.
Well, that's what Kevin McCarthy is saying. What's going on in the United States Senate with Mitch McConnell? This omnibus bill, $1.7 trillion of spending of your tax dollars. It does also include, reading from CNN here, the spending bill would provide roughly $45 billion to help support Ukraine's efforts to defend itself against Russia's attacks. And this, as we see the president of the United States and his wife are welcoming President Vladimir Zelensky to the White House right now. Let's talk to our friend Deroy Murdock about it, nationally syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor, joining us to talk a little bit about some frustrations that I think a lot of Republicans have watching this omnibus bill be debated. Deroy, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show.
Hi, Annie. How are you? Good to talk to you.
Doing okay. A little frustrated watching this massive $1.7 trillion of taxpayers' hard-earned dollars go to all of the special interests and all of these different things. What are the Republicans doing right now?
Well, in the House, they're trying to stop this, which they should. Kevin McCarthy and the Republicans are going to take over the U.S. House of Representatives on January 3rd. That's 2 Tuesdays from now. That's 13 days from when we speak. And yet you've got Mitch McConnell completely surrendering, running the white flag up the flagpole to Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and going along with this thing. It's 4,155 pages. That's 3 times as long as War and Peace. That works out to $409 million per page. And it's got 3,213 Democrat earmarks. It's got money in there for things like continuous plankton recorder survey, bee-friendly highways. It's got extra money for January 6th prosecutions. You love this. It's got $410 million for enhanced border security in Egypt, Jordan, Lebanon, and Oman and Tunisia. But the money that's allocated for the border control, U.S. Border Patrol says the money may not be used to acquire, maintain, or extend border security technology and capabilities. So we've got money in there to shore up the borders in the Middle East, but we're not allowed to defend our own borders here. This is revolting, disgusting, and it's the kind of thing that will lead the GOP and conservative base in 2024 to say, why bother knocking on doors? Why bother voting Republican? We're going to have people like Mitch McConnell come in and basically act as the rent boy for Chuck Schumer and do whatever Schumer wants. It's reprehensible, and the sooner that man is out of office, the better. I will breathe not just a sigh of relief. I'll probably respirate and hyperventilate with relief once he's no longer in charge of the GOP caucus.
Deroy Murdock with us right now. I mean, generally speaking, there's a political advantage that I can see Mitch McConnell being willing to take some of the blows that maybe other Republicans in the Senate don't have to take, and he steps up. I don't really see the advantage here. I don't understand why he's caving on this issue when in a couple of weeks they negotiate from an incredibly different power position.
You're absolutely right. Look, it'd be one thing if for whatever reason the House GOP took over, let's say August 1st, and they say, all right, well, this is October 1. We can wait 2 more months. Big deal. In 13 days, instead of having Nancy Pelosi on the opposite side of the table. You're going to have Kevin McCarthy on the opposite side of the table, which means you're going to get a much better situation. The House will write whatever budget it wants, which will cut spending, get rid of a lot of this nonsense, put things in there like we need money for border security, no more 87,000 new IRS agents. We need to get answers from the FBI on the Hunter Biden laptop censorship scandal. We need language in there that says Joe Biden at his next meeting with Xi Jinping must ask, where did COVID-19 come from, et cetera. None of that stuff will be in there, and frankly, nothing regarding fiscal responsibility and regarding oversight, or I should say the power of the purse. All that stuff is completely yanked out of the hands of Kevin McCarthy and the incoming GOP Congress until October 1. They will not be able to say to the FBI, look, you don't get any money until you come down here and tell us what you did on with Twitter, until October 1st. For 10 full months, the GOP House that we, American people, elected will not have the power of the purse until October 1. That's 10 months from now. And it'd be one thing if McConnell, were completely powerless. If he stood up and said, look, I oppose this, and so do the Republicans, we're going to filibuster this bill would go nowhere, and he would be able to have a continuing resolution for another month or 2 months, let's say until February 1st, and then Kevin McCarthy and company can come in and write a decent budget, and we go from there. Instead, you've got Mitch McConnell helping out like a shoeshine boy, helping out Chuck Schumer, Nancy Pelosi, and the Democrats get what they want. This is sickening like I can't even tell you.
Well, let's listen to Mitch McConnell on this issue himself.
Making sure the Defense Department can deal with the major threats coming from Russia and China, providing assistance for the Ukrainians to defeat the Russians. That's the number one priority for the United States right now, according to most Republicans. That's sort of how we see the challenges confronting the country at the moment.
Does Mitch McConnell have a good grasp on what the number one priority is of Republicans right now in this country? Is he right on that?
No, he's not. Look, I don't oppose the idea of giving the Defense Department the money it needs to defend this country, but I think we can wait 13 days until we have people in who, frankly, are very pro-defense, pro-national security, I think even more than Democrats, and we can get the money to the Pentagon that it needs, and then take out the money for a lot of this other nonsense, and also let the House Republicans, who won a majority, remember, just last month, have the power of the purse, which is probably the chief power that the House has. And Mitch McConnell is essentially castrating the House Republicans for 10 months in return for I don't know what. I mean, this guy is, if he can't trade horses, if he and Schumer were trading horses, Schumer would end up with 2 stallions, and Mitch McConnell would end up with a wheelbarrow full of manure.
Thanks for putting it that way. Deroy Murdock with us right now, nationally syndicated columnist, Fox News contributor. I mean, when I think about this omnibus bill, that certainly is the matter at hand right now for our federal government, this massive spending bill, yet another massive spending bill. They could pass a continuing resolution and get us to the place where Republicans can argue with a stronger position. There are still a lot of other issues facing the United States right now. And the southern border is absolutely one of them. You mentioned how this omnibus bill funds borders in foreign nations and not our own. Do you feel as though watching the developments at the southern border that there will be any sea change of policy in the next 2 years of Biden's administration with a Republican majority in the House?
I don't think so. And things are so completely out of control on the southern border. You literally have people popping out of the sewers of El Paso. They're coming out of manhole covers, not just one or two, but groups of 30 or so people popping out of the manhole covers in El Paso. And look, you can be for a generous immigration system and keep America open to immigrants for all that they provide for our country and have made this country great. But you ought to be able to come in into the United States through something more orderly than emerging from a manhole cover. This is all going on. I don't think it's going to change because Joe Biden is getting what he wants. This isn't an accident. This isn't some mismanagement. He's getting exactly what he wants, which is millions of people breaking into this country, invading the United States of America. They're here to stay. These people are going to get amnesty at some point, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, maybe 20 years. And his hope and the hope of the Democrats is that 51% or more of these people will vote Democrat, and they'll be able to vote themselves a permanent governing majority, and we'll have a one-party Democrat state. That's exactly what this is about. I don't think it's about anything else. That's how nakedly political this is. And the reason this is happening is because Joe Biden wants it to happen.
Yeah, Deroy Murdock with us right now. I look at the way he is acting/not acting on the southern border. His inactions are actions, and I think that people need to put that responsibility and the consequences of that decision to not be active there squarely on the shoulders of President Biden and his administration. But I look at the other things that they're really deeply focused on, and I hear people talking about how gas prices have come down $2 and how that puts more money back in your pocket. The administration itself saying that. That's not, they weren't saying they were taking $2 out of your pocket when gas was $2 higher. It's the gas price game seems to be the one that is always touted by either political party when the narrative benefits them. But in the meantime, we still have 7+% inflation. Americans are trying to wrap up their Christmas shopping right now, literally, I suppose. And they're looking at their credit card debt. They're looking at the cost of the gifts that they may still have to get for loved ones. And they're saying, this is tough. And that does not seem to be acknowledged at all by the Biden administration, in much the same way that the southern border crisis is not being acknowledged at all by this administration. And is there anything out there that will get their attention and snap them into reality to make a change for the American people?
Well, you're completely correct about this total denial of what's going down on the border. This is just a couple of days ago. White House Press Secretary Karine St-Pierre said, quote, "It would be wrong to think that the border is open. It is not open, and I just want to be very, very clear about that," unquote. Well, I mean, just turn on the TV, look at Fox News Channel, Fox Business Network, and you'll see all day long thousands and thousands of people walking across the Rio Grande, lining up in El Paso. They're apparently sleeping on the floors of the El Paso airport because there's nowhere else to put them. And by the way, the temperatures are going to be down at about 10, 15 degrees. So you're going to have people probably freeze to death down there, and those dead bodies will have Joe Biden's blood on them. The blood of those people will be on Joe Biden's fingers, I should say. I think the only thing that might possibly get the attention of these people, if, God forbid, any of the terrorists who've been running across the border engage in a terrorist attack, and we have somebody came across the border who then came along and blew up Americans or shot a bunch of Americans in big numbers. Maybe that will finally get the Democrats to open their eyes and figure, okay, this is a national security problem. But as long as they can get what I call the FDA's Future Democrats of America into this country across the border, they're going to continue this deliberate policy of theirs, which they want, which is their willful decision, and this is what they want to do.
Yeah, it's tragic to watch, and it's frustrating to consume the denial of it on the regular basis from the people who are supposed to be handling the situation. Deroy Murdock with us right now. We just want to tell you before we let you go, thank you for spending so much time with our show throughout the year. You are always a breath of fresh air to hear your thoughts, to hear your opinions, and to know that you carve out, 10, 15 minutes for the Annie Frey Show each week. Deroy, we're really grateful for you, and we thank you for your time.
My pleasure. I'm always happy to chat with you and your listeners. I enjoy doing it every week and look forward to doing so more in 2023.
Well, that's fantastic. Deroy Murdock, thank you. Have a Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Annie, to you and your listeners. Take care now.
You as well.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
He's a nationally syndicated columnist and a Fox News contributor. And, I think when I listen to him talk about things, he talks with passion, he talks with emotion. I appreciate that. And there are a lot of people who are frustrated. I think the thing that is currently the most frustrating for me that I'm trying to almost ignore because Christmas is right around the corner and I just want to be happy is the fact that we spent the majority of this year talking about the midterms and how frustrated people are. And guess what? I talk to the same people now who I talked to before the midterms. They're frustrated. But it didn't result in the polls in the midterms. And that requires the Republicans to do some soul searching and to do some just in-depth studying of how to get people to the polls to vote. I'm reading a story on Fox News right now, and it's an interesting one. Disaffected Democrats turn to DeSantis over party's intolerance and wokeness. They feel condescended to and abandoned. That's interesting because Florida is one of those places that was an anomaly in the midterm elections in 2022. I saw a video yesterday on Twitter, and it was talking about how Mike Lindell is going to go investigate the election results in Florida because he doesn't believe that the support for DeSantis is as strong as was indicated in that election. What's he going to do if he finds out that it in fact is? What's going to happen if there's an audit of this election in Florida and you find out that Miami-Dade Latinos really love them some Ron DeSantis? Is that going to push people into studying how he's doing what he's doing, the substance behind the speak that Ron DeSantis carries? He is a man of action, and he is a man of conviction, and he puts those two things together in a way that is combative only in the sense that he does not back down from a fight. It's refreshing to me to see that. in the political landscape. And it does resonate with people who are in the middle. I don't know that Ron DeSantis, if he chooses to run for president, I don't know that he's going to get a bunch of Democrats to swing over and change their policy positions on things, because Democrats have perspectives and experiences that lend to their political ideologies that aren't going to see Ron DeSantis and then they're just going to go, I forget everything that I ever believed. I'm a DeSantis guy, or I'm a DeSantis girl. That's not going to happen. But if you look at the Democratic Party and you see the truth about what's going on the southern border, and you understand how the Democrats that are in charge right now are not taking up the responsibility of even acknowledging the problem that exists. Everybody knows this problem exists. A lot of people don't know the extent of it. Because going back to what Deroy says, about how can you look at this problem and ignore its existence? Well, for years and years and years now on Twitter, we know that there were people who were telling stories and sharing information that weren't allowed to reach people the same as others with different ideologies were able to do. Understanding the extent, the numbers of people that are crossing the southern border every day, understanding the reality of what is happening in our country on this particular border crisis issue every day. How much coverage are we seeing this on the non-Fox News cable news networks? How dedicated are the people of the CNNs and the MSNBCs and the network news outlets to make sure that Americans, not Republicans, not Democrats, but Americans, American citizens, understand what is taking place on our southern border? How well do Americans understand this issue? And the truth is, much like Twitter, where certain messages were amplified and whitelisted, other messages were shadow banned and censored. It's impossible to get a realistic picture of what is taking place in our country when we don't just seek truth. We seek persuasion, we set narratives. And when a specific ideology owns the messenger in so many different ways, not just in cable news, and Fox News outperforms all of them, but the rest of them have a pretty consistent message. They choose to cover or not to cover stories with a lot of consistency, and then when they choose to cover stories, they cover them very specifically. It's not just the cable news networks. It's Hollywood. It's the music industry. It's the entertainment and sports industry. It's the movie industry. It's the education industry. They all have their hands in the middle. And we need to expose, much like is taking place in Twitter, just put the truth out there. We'll see what we see. I'm not going to presuppose what is coming out of this, but I'm looking at stuff with my eyebrows. My eyebrows can't get much higher reading this stuff. Like, whoa. I hope that 2023 is the year of transparency. As ugly as it is, hang the dirty laundry out for the world to see so that we can clean it, so that we can get back to a place where we're operating the way we're supposed to be. It's the only way that we get our country back. And I'm not saying for Republicans or Democrats, I'm saying for Americans. Let's take a quick break. Hans von Spakovsky is going to talk to us. When we return, I'm going to ask him about the legality, the Title 42, what the Supreme Court did, and what the Biden administration's responsibilities are, and what kind of constitutional recourse does this Republican House have in the new year to make a difference? We'll be back in just a minute. Don't go away.
Christmas is a-comin' and the bells begin to ring.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
And don't take time to fret. And the more you give at Christmas time, the more you get. God bless you, gentlemen, God bless you. And the more you give at Christmas time.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, December 21st, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain the spark in your bedroom, today Today is your day. Call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday, 314-530-7777.
Last minute shopping for somebody special. The Diamond Shop has a solution for you. You can go to thediamondshop.net and learn a little bit about this historic jeweler here in St. Louis. Started in St. Louis, they moved their shop out to Clayton, but they have been doing the jewelry business for St. Louisans just like you since 1910. They have extended hours right now that you can shop this holiday week. So if you haven't gotten that special something for someone, there's still time, and they can't wait to see you. For the rest of this week through Friday, they are open from 10 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. So they've extended their hours to accommodate you, 10 a.m. to 7:30 for today, tomorrow, and Friday. And Saturday, they're open from 10 to 3 on Christmas Eve. That's exciting. If you are looking for a perfect gift for somebody, it doesn't matter what your budget is. They have gifts in all price ranges. You can go to the Diamond Shop, and you will be sure to make your loved one's holiday a very special one. They also appraise jewelry. They do have watches. They have, of course, earrings and necklaces and tie chains and all of that. They also buy gold. Go to the Diamond Shop online at thediamondshop.net.
If you're considering an annuity as part of your retirement plan, we need to talk. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Annuities can be a useful tool for some retirement investors, but not all annuities are created equal. Every week, we meet clients who own complex annuities that don't suit their needs and, in some cases, actively undermine their retirement plan. Before you purchase an annuity, get a second opinion from the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel. Requesting a consultation is free of charge. To request a free consultation, contact us at clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com, or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas & Company Incorporated, member NYSE and SIPC.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Gentry Trotter is with us. He is the founder of Heat Up St. Louis.
We're 46% over versus last year in terms of the demand. So what we're trying to do is make a difference for those neighbors.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
They told me, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, a newborn king to see, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum. Finest gifts we bring, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, to lay before the king, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum, rum-pa-pum-pum. So to honor him, pa-rum-pa-pum-pum, when we come.
Really what we're seeing here is a city that is overwhelmed and in chaos. These families behind me here, these are some of the lucky ones. We're inside a shelter, but a lot of shelters are overwhelmed. I just came from the streets this morning. There are hundreds of people sleeping in the airports, at bus stations, on the streets, and it's actually really cold here. It was 33 degrees when we woke up this morning. Migrants were huddling together under blankets for warmth because even though Title 42 hasn't lifted yet, so many people have been able to come across. Not every nationality criminality gets expelled. But we just spoke to people at this shelter here, Ruben Garcia, who runs this shelter, who says, look, already there are people sleeping on the streets. The numbers that will be sleeping on the streets if Title 42 lifts is unfathomable. And he says the federal government will have to do more.
We the people of the United States,
More perfect.
in our form of our perfect union.
Heritage legal expert Hans von Spakovsky.
Well, Hans, welcome back to the Annie Frey Show on this Christmas week. Always good to have you here.
Hey, it's good to talk to you again.
So this Title 42, Chief Justice Roberts made an action earlier this week, and it's waiting on the Biden administration to respond, and I feel like that's happened. What is going on specifically with Title 42 in the first place? Why is Title 42 such a big deal? And then we can talk about what the Supreme Court action was.
Well, because under Title 42, President Trump exercises authority to tell Border Patrol agents to immediately turn back aliens that they caught crossing the border illegally, basically pushing them back across the border. And the benefit of that is that when they don't do that, when instead they arrest them, detain them, process them, well, we know what the Biden administration then does. They say, well, appear before an immigration judge a year from now. In the meantime, we're releasing you. And, of course, what happens? They disappear into the interior of the country. And that process of what the Biden administration wants to do and ending the ability of border agents to just turn people back so they don't cross the border, that will tempt huge numbers of even more individuals to come into the country. And it's the idea that they would end Title 42. I mean, even Democratic members of Congress are complaining about what the Biden administration wants to do.
Yeah, I think that one of the things about Title 42 that I find interesting is that it was like a COVID mitigation measure put in by President Trump.
Right.
And if it went away, it seems as though a lot of the way it's discussed in the news media is that if it went away, then anybody could come here and nothing is in place for those immigrants to be stopped. Title 42 is the last bastion of hope to turn people away. Do we have no laws on the books that say that people can't just come into our country?
Well, we do, but the Biden administration doesn't want to enforce them. Now, what's happened in the court system is that a federal district court, which is the trial level, the lowest level court, said, "Oh well, you can't do this. This policy of turning people back immediately has to be ended." And what happened is that got up to the Supreme Court on an emergency appeal. The Chief Justice, John Roberts, temporarily froze that deadline on Monday and asked all the parties in the lawsuit, including the Justice Department and the ACLU and others, to file briefs and weigh in on this. So until the Supreme Court has reviewed this, Title 42 will remain in place.
We're speaking with Hans von Spakovsky. He's a senior legal fellow with the Heritage Foundation. I watch the back and forth, the political back and forth on this issue, and I just think that one of the most supreme duties of the president of the United States has to be to protect the sovereign borders of the country. It seems pretty basic to me. It may be more complicated than that. It seems to have to be more complicated than that because the president is, going to potentially sign an omnibus bill that is including defending the borders of nations that aren't even our own. Yet here we are in this country, and we are not stopping this influx of people. The magnitude of people coming across the southern border is jaw-dropping. Does the president, is he abdicating his responsibility as the president of the United States?
Yes. And you are absolutely right. That is his number one goal. And to tell you how effective Title 42 has been in basically turning people back because of the threat of COVID is since March of 2020, in the last 2 years, U.S. border agents used Title 42 to turn back 2.5 million illegal aliens. Now, you played a clip of folks sleeping in the streets, aliens sleeping in the streets who've been coming across the border. Think how much worse that problem would be if it weren't for the fact that those 2.5 million aliens were turned back. But it's just astonishing to me that the Biden administration wants to increase the flow of aliens across the U.S. border. It is so dangerous, and frankly, it's inhumane.
Yeah, it is, because we're not caring for these people. We can't care for many homeless in our own country. I drive into St. Louis from Illinois every day to come to work. I drive past homeless people on the street that are standing in line to get into a shelter. I see people who don't stand in line and they are left to fend for themselves. There are so many different stories that lead people to that point in their life. But I think about the veterans across our country that are not getting the help that they need. I think about the children who are in the foster system that are not getting the help that they need. And then I think about the people who are fleeing to our country to truly seek asylum. And then there's the rest of them. And we hear story after story after story about these migrants who are being bused to different areas in this country. No, not by the Ron DeSantis's of the world. The federal government has been doing that for quite some time now. It wasn't until a Republican sent them to a Democrat, an affluent Democrat area, that the news wanted to cover it. And then, of course, Ron DeSantis is the bad guy. I mean, we have such strong moral responsibilities to American citizens in this country that what we are doing at the southern border is absolutely not humane to those additional people who we could never possibly help.
Yeah, but remember, according to Joe Biden, there are more important things for him to deal with. He said
his own words.
His own words. He actually said that when the rest of us all recognize what a horrible problem this is. And by the way, he is directly helping to support and increase the influence and, frankly, the profit of the Mexican drug cartels. Why? Because it's the cartels who are the chief smugglers of aliens into the country. And by basically lifting all controls, particularly when it comes to unaccompanied children, he's basically saying to the cartels, he's waving a welcome sign to them and say, keep profiteering, keep making money, bring as many of these folks in as you can. So he's helping one of the biggest criminal conspiracies in the world, and he's doing that, frankly, rather directly with his actions.
Hans, before we let you go, the Republicans will take control of the House in the new year. What's the number one thing that majority, that's where the GOP does have power, what's the number one thing that they need to do to make a positive change in this area?
I think they have to direct the Department of Homeland Security first thing to complete the wall. I mean, appropriate the money and punish anyone in the Department of Homeland Security through the budgetary process who doesn't carry out their directive to get a wall completed and built to protect the southern border.
Well, their job is definitely cut out for them. Hans,
yes.
We are grateful for you. We hope you have a wonderful Christmas with your family, with your loved ones. And we thank you for being with us here each week on the Andy Frey Show. We're very grateful for you.
I always enjoy it. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Hans von Spakovsky, a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. He's got a book. If you're looking for gifts, folks, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. You can get it now wherever books are sold. It's Hans von Spakovsky. We're going to take a quick break. Todd Vandermyde is going to be on with us when we come back. He was in a hearing of sorts with a committee that's discussing HB 5855 in the state of Illinois. They want to take your guns. They want to make you register your guns. And they want to limit the magazine capacity. 10 is too many in a magazine. That is a lot of common handguns, folks. Semi-automatic sounds scary, doesn't it? Do you know what you're talking about when guns seem scary to you? Is it because you don't know about them? Is it because you're uninformed about them? Sometimes I feel like the people who are making these laws are afraid of things that they don't understand. But that's too naive, folks. They know exactly what they're talking about. But they know that American voters out there are afraid, and they're preying upon the uneducation of the gun scare that is out there right now to try to get bills like this passed. So we're going to shed some light on the issue. We're going to talk about what the state of Illinois is trying to do with Todd Vandermyde when we come back. Don't go away.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
It's the season's best year-end savings event at all 20 Bomarito locations. Low lease payments, special financing, zero money down, no payments for 90 days, and more for your trade. New vehicles, get the Bomarito nationwide warranty, 10 years, 200,000 miles. And Motor Trend certified vehicles, up to 100,000 miles. Get the Motor Trend comprehensive nationwide warranty. Save on every vehicle at the season's best year-end savings event going on now at all Bomarito locations and 24/7 at Bomarito.com. Well, I'm excited and happy that I get to tell you one more time at least about Andrea's and Andrea's steak sauce before Christmas, because guess what? If you're going to try to order something online right now, it's going to be tough to get that back before Christmas, especially with the way the weather is looking. So if you're looking for that last-minute thing that you can get for anybody, no kidding, stop by Andrea's restaurant. Easy to get to even if you're in Missouri, but they are in Fairview Heights, O'Fallon, Illinois. Stop by the restaurant. Maybe have a meal while you're there, but that's up to you. And pick up their holiday gift box. It's just $10, and it looks nice. It's packaged very, very nicely with both of their famous sauces, their brush-on steak sauce, and their salad dressing right there for just $10. Hey, why not add a gift card or a gift certificate to it? Those look very nice, too, and everybody loves going to the premier steakhouse in St. Louis, Andrea's Steakhouse. So that's my recommendation for you for a Christmas gift. If you can't do it in person, you can always do it online. And since they're local, I do believe you'll get that back real fast right before Christmas. You go to Andreas.com.
Here comes the storm, and you don't have a snow and ice removal contractor. Go to stlfenceworks.com and schedule snow and ice removal service now. For fully insured commercial snow and ice removal on demand, contact STL Fenceworks today.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling and Insulation Studio. Make sure your furnace is ready to safely heat your home this fall. For heating service, repairs, or a new HVAC system, visit aircomfortservice.com.
You're listening to award-winning, thought-provoking talk. You're listening to 97.1 FM Talk.
Your home for conservative talk.
On the air for over 20 years.
I think I saw old Santa through my window Christmas Eve. My eyes were really droopy, but I really do believe it must have been old Santa. 'Cause I saw his big red hat, and I know my mom and dad can't fly like that. Oh no. I know my mom and dad can't fly like that. And then I heard
this is the Annie Frey Show.
All outside my door. The same old Christmas trick my dad had played since I was 4. He stands outside my bedroom, yelling ho ho ho, because he knows I don't believe in Santa Claus, no way.
I wanted to focus on one comment that you made about gun safety training. So just a yes or no answer would be appreciated. Is my understanding correct in that in an ideal world you would like to see every firearm owner be well trained on how to operate their firearms safely?
So would I like all gun owners to be well trained? Yes.
So would you be in support then of mandating for FOID applications a certain number of hours of firearm safety and firearm training?
No.
Is there is the first answer that you provided to this committee consistent with the second?
Yes.
All right. Well, I see that we are moving towards bridging that gap that you referred to, and we will continue to work towards that.
What a loon. My goodness. Representative Stoneback, who's on her way out because she got primaried by the Democrats. Apparently they don't like her too much if they primaried her and she lost the primary. You know what she says? She doesn't understand the difference between a man's personal opinion that, hey, if you have a gun, you should be well trained in it, to making the leap to the government should mandate all of these things that you think that should be done. That's not how it works. It just isn't how it works. And also, why is the microphone in her mouth? If you're a misophoniac like I am, I'm not happy with her gun stance. The mouth noises, oh my gosh, I almost didn't listen to it. Let's get to the expert on this. Todd Vandermyde is with us right now. He's a former lobbyist with the NRA, and he was at this hearing. Todd, I want to play a clip for you here in a second, but I wanted to give you an opportunity to come on here and talk about what is taking place in the Illinois legislature. We welcome you on to the show. HB 5855 is really something.
It is. It is. It's a very broad spectrum, broad-based gun grab. Evidently, the Democrats and the gun grabbers in Illinois haven't read the New York decision, don't comprehend it, and just want to stick their heads in the sand like ostriches.
Yeah, it's horrible. And you listen to a Representative Stoneback here questioning one of your colleagues who was on this panel working to advocate for the constitutional rights that Americans, and yes, even those Americans who live in the state of Illinois, still get to exercise. Listen to this line of conversation.
My second question is for Mr. Weber. Mr. Weber, have you... We've heard several different comments about constitutionality, and you are all claiming that this bill is unconstitutional under the Second Amendment. Is that correct?
I don't believe I made that claim in my testimony.
Okay, so we've heard that testimony from this panel.
Yes.
Yes. Are you familiar with the Second Amendment? Can you recite the Second Amendment to us?
I am not a lawyer, so the constitutionality of the bill, it's not something I'm here to speak to the subject matter of 5855.
Mr. Vandermyde,
27 words. Well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed.
Okay. Is there any mention of an individual's right to a gun for self-defense or recreation in the Second Amendment?
Yes. The people. Same as the First Amendment, same as the Fourth Amendment, same as the Ninth Amendment.
There is not a single word about an individual's right to a gun for self-defense or recreation in the Second Amendment.
So there you have, Todd. That was Todd who stepped in there and just, quoted the Constitution. Apparently the Constitution doesn't apply to you unless you can recite it, is what it feels like the representative is saying there. Todd, what was she really saying when it's like, no, this isn't about an individual's rights? What does she really think on this issue?
Well, what she's trying to get at is she's trying to get at the first clause of the Second Amendment about the well-regulated militia. And all her and the other anti-gunners want to do is focus on well-regulated so they can use that as an excuse to pass any gun control they want. And they want to talk about how, well, it's only deals with the militia, which is not what the Supreme Court has said. And if you saw part of the video, I was grabbing my iPad to pull up the actual Heller decision because, the Heller decision, and this is what I argue with these people all the time, is that this has been asked and answered by the court. And what the court said in its holdings, the amendment's prefatory clause announces a purpose, but does not limit or expand the scope of the second part, the operative clause. The operative clause text and history demonstrate it connotes an individual right to keep and bear arms. And that's what the court said. And they don't want to accept that. And, one of the things I like to do is I like to have the documents I can quote at hand, and I always do. And that's why she didn't let me finish the second part of that because she said, well, where is it for an individual self-defense? And I was about to get to, it says keep and bear. And the Supreme Court has deemed bear to mean carry in case of confrontation. And, don't take Todd's word for it. There's 5 justices in the Supreme Court said that in 2008, and 6 of them said that, in New York not too long ago. So, she doesn't like the answers they're getting out of the court, and because of that, She wants to try to continually drive this faux pas, this just Fox idea that we somehow wrote off half the amendment. No, there's a prefatory clause, and we understand that. It denotes a purpose but does not limit the operative clause, and she refuses to grasp that. So she's just trying to get her pound of flesh. And if you'll notice, you moved rather quickly on for me because I have answers for these things that they don't like.
Yeah, well, and I saw a clip of it that somebody shared on Twitter, and then somebody in the comments of that clip shared the whole 3+ hour video. And so I, because I'm a nerd, was like, oh, I got to watch this. So I start watching. I couldn't believe myself. So I know about HB 5855. I know that they're trying to push this through. I know it involves gun registries. I know it limits greatly, like incredibly greatly, the Second Amendment rights that everybody else in this country can enjoy in most places throughout the country. I want to get your take. We're speaking with Todd Vandermyde about what HB 5855, the real implications for gun owners and Second Amendment supporters in the state of Illinois. What is the Illinois legislature going to effectively do with this bill?
Well, they're trying to pass it during the lame duck session in the first week of January, the 4th through the 10th. We think they have the votes in the House. We don't know if they have the votes in the Senate. The Senate Democrats have majorities, super majorities in both chambers, but we'll see. And, Governor Pritzker kind of downplayed the expectations, saying, well, we'll get it done this spring. What we're not doing, what the gun side of this is not doing, we're not debating page and line numbers and pointing out every single flaw in the bill. We've done that in the past when we thought we could change minds, win votes, and win the day. It's not the case anymore. These people are not interested in an intellectually honest debate about the subject matter. They just want to flail away and, their pound of flesh and pass what they want. So our strategy this time is in light of the New York decision, the fourth decision on the Second Amendment the Supreme Court has handed down, that we are going to not help them build a better mousetrap. Pass the most god-awful piece of garbage that you can. It'll be that much easier to kill in court, and that is our strategy. We are going to court. The dealers, manufacturers, gun owners, a number of people are sitting there and going to, we're banding together to form a coalition to take on this legislation, and we're going to do it in the courts. Yeah. And that's it. And that was my message to them yesterday was two parts. One, we will see you in court, and you're going to be sending my lawyer's grandchildren to Harvard. And the second part of that is you don't have any means for enforcing this. You have 70 sanctuary counties in Illinois. You have counties like Effingham and Iroquois passing resolutions saying no county official is to help the state enforce this should it pass. You've got in New York, in Connecticut, they only get about a 15% compliance rate with their registration schemes when they pass these laws. In New York, there is estimated to be over 1 million guns that fell into this category that did not get registered. In Illinois, you're talking 2.5 million FOID card holders. Let's say 1.2 million, half of them have a handgun. They typically come with 3 magazines. So now you're looking at 3.6 million magazines. Most people that I know that own an AR-style rifle own at least 10 magazines. 1.2 million times 10 is 12 million. They don't have a clue as to what they are stepping into with this. And there are a bunch of people. The gun owners of this state, the ones that I know, the ones at my gun club, the ones I talk to online, they're all sitting there saying enough is enough.
Yeah.
We're not going to register our stuff. We're not going to surrender our stuff. We're not going to do that. You guys, we've hit a wall. Our back's up against it. We're not going any farther. And I don't think they understand the hornet's nest they have truly kicked over with this.
Well, Todd, I love to hear your enthusiasm behind this, because I know that there are a lot of just beaten down, almost Stockholm Syndrome-esque Illinois residents who know that the government that controls them in so many different ways in this state is out of hand, but it's happened and it's happened and it's happened. And you kind of get to the point where if you can leave, you're gone. If you can't leave, it's just so frustrating to dig into the details on things like this that you feel like nothing ever is going to happen. So before I have to let you go, Todd, you say you're going to take it to the courts. If they pass this bill in the lame duck session or right away in the beginning of the new session, how quickly does it find its way in courts, and how quickly do you expect to get a stay?
We would expect to get a stay because the immediate effective date. The minute the governor puts pen to paper, it takes effect. So we would be expecting a stay and or an injunction quickly, and we're prepared to go to court the minute he puts that pen to paper. And if you want more on this, I do run a YouTube channel called Freedom's Steel, and I do updates on all this stuff under my 2A section.
That's perfect.
So, yeah, I've done some. I've done some on court cases. I know the lawyers that are handling stuff in California and Judge Benitez and all the stuff going there, and we're taking cues from them. We have a top-notch legal team that's assembled for this. We have, the city of Chicago, when they lost McDonald, paid the National Rifle Association $1.2 million in attorney's fees. And, I think that when the state legislators get together, if they're bent on doing this, then in the next appropriation, they should put at least a $2 million line in there to pay our lawyers' fees for when we win. There's over 20 lawsuits pending in Illinois right now on FOID card and daycare issues and stuff dealing with firearms. They're going to see another 20 if they want to continue down this road. And what will happen is Mrs. Stonebeck won't be there to, take part in any of this after January 10th. And we're just going to laugh at her and all her cohorts, because you can't put us all in jail. You can't enforce this. And at the end of the day, we're going to win in the courts.
Well, the good news is that they don't want to put anybody in jail now. So with that being said, Todd, we appreciate you for being on with us. We're going to keep in touch with you as this bill continues to progress. I've just subscribed to Freedom's Steel on YouTube, and we look forward to having you back again soon. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Todd Vandermyde, Freedom's Steel is his YouTube channel. You can vote on our YouTube live chat poll, the Annie Frey YouTube channel. Which party will fare better in 2023, Republicans or Democrats? And while you're there on YouTube, go subscribe to Todd's channel, Freedom's Steel, STEEL. We'll be back in a minute with the 2 o'clock hour on the Annie Frey Show and a giveaway. Don't go away.
I stare out of my window.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
Dream Nissan Midwest. No matter what your credit situation, if you bring home $250 a week, your credit's approved, guaranteed. Every new Nissan at Dream Nissan comes with our lifetime warranty, 100% complimentary. With our huge selection of new and pre-owned vehicles, we have the perfect car, truck, or SUV that fits your budget. Dream Nissan, putting your dreams in your driveway. Go to DreamNissanMidwest.com or stop by our newest location in Wood River, Illinois.
Dream Nissan, putting your dreams in your driveway.
Ready for the holidays? Order fine jewelry from Shane Company by December 23rd to get it in time for Christmas. Shipping is fast and free. Oohs and ahs are guaranteed.
Now you have a friend in the jewelry business.
Shane Company and ShaneCo.com.
Join Mosby Building Arts every Saturday from 12 to 1 p.m. on 97.1 FM. Rich Orse and guests give insider tips about renovations, design, construction, exteriors, and more. Tune in to Right at Home with Rich on Saturdays or catch the podcast online.
KFTK FM Florissant.
Driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group.
97.1 FM Talk.
Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather.
No weather concerns at all until we get into Thursday afternoon. That is the main event. A little bit of light rain, wet snow in the morning on Thursday, but it's all snow, a fast and furious snow after 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Thursday. Snow all afternoon. That's the heaviest part. On Friday, only 10. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
The trip now because of the military assistance from the U.S., and he's thanking the entire nation.
Thanks from our just ordinary people to your ordinary people, Americans. I really appreciate.
He's just given President Biden a medal from a soldier. The president says he'll give the soldier a command coin from his late son Beau's service in Iraq. Tonight, President Zelensky will speak on Capitol Hill as Congress works on a spending bill that includes more funding for Ukraine.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer noted the weight of the appearance.
It shows the importance President Zelensky places on us continuing to give him robust help.
Minority Leader Mitch McConnell concurred, citing political and American support.
The Ukrainian people are courageous and innocent, and they deserve our help.
Senator McConnell was also clear that American interests come into play. He said helping Ukraine lessens Russian threats against our allies in Europe.
Fox's Gernal Scott. Much of the U.S. heading into dangerously cold territory.
Here in Fargo, North Dakota, temperatures won't get above -10 today, with wind chill pushing the feels-like temperature down near -30.
Fox Weather's Max Gordon. The Arctic blast stretching all the way to Texas behind a winter storm that's affecting millions of holiday travelers on its way across the country. America is listening to Fox News.
I'm getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
So am I, because I'm at risk for pneumococcal pneumonia.
I'm asking about Prevnar 20 because there's a chance pneumococcal pneumonia could put me in the hospital.
Age 65 or older, you may be at increased risk for pneumococcal pneumonia. Ask your doctor or pharmacist about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20, pneumococcal 20-valent conjugate vaccine, a Pfizer vaccine that can help protect against pneumococcal pneumonia in just one dose. Prevnar 20 is approved for adults to help prevent infections from 20 strains of the bacteria that cause pneumococcal pneumonia. Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you've had a severe allergic reaction to the vaccine or its ingredients. Adults with weakened immune systems may have a lower response to the vaccine. The most commonly reported side effect was pain at the injection site. For additional common side effects and full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138 or visit Prevnar20.com.
I want to be able to keep my plans.
So I'm asking my doctor about getting vaccinated with Prevnar 20.
Be a hero this holiday. Donate blood during the Odyssey Holiday Heroes Blood Drive. There will be drives at YMCA locations all over the region. All presenting donors will receive a long-sleeve Red Cross t-shirt. And the YMCA is offering a $0 enrollment fee for all donors who join the day of the drive. Schedule your appointment at redcrossblood.org and use sponsor code Odyssey. Thank you.
The federal government is hiring 87,000 new IRS employees and enforcement agents. Make no mistake, with spending out of control, they're looking to collect revenue. The first target will be you. If you have not paid your taxes or filed them in years, let me help you get that target off your back. Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm here in St. Louis. So if you have unfiled returns, wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, now's the time to call the Lance Drury Law Firm before the IRS calls you. Your consultation is free, so don't put it off. The Lance Drury Law Firm focuses solely on tax resolution law. It's all we do. And if you have IRS problems, you have legal problems. Let us use our tax law resolution experience to guide you and work on your custom resolution plan. Call now. It's free and confidential. call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120 or go to LanceDruryLaw.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Let's talk about Slim 180 and how they can help you this holiday season. If you want to start now, who's stopping you? Just you. Maybe you want to wait till the new year. I understand that. If you're looking to lose weight and you need somebody who's going to keep you accountable, who's going to equip you with what you need, the guidance, the plan that's going to help you lose the weight fast in 2023. Think about starting off February of 2023 down a bit. Think about up to 3 to 5 pounds a week. She has different plans at Slim 180 that you can go through that are going to get you to a place of success in a fast enough way that's going to keep you motivated. It's going to teach you the lifestyle choices that you need to be making to keep the weight off as well. You can go to myslim180.com and learn about the different plans that she has for you. You can learn how to save by mentioning the Annie Frey Show when you reach out to them and get that process started today. You can sign up, you can get everything ready to start, and then wait until you're ready to take off and work on losing that weight and losing it fast. All the details online at myslim180.com.
Give the gift that's hard to wrap, but easy to give. The Steel Holiday Gift Guide has outdoor power tools and more for everyone on your list. Visit your local Steel dealer or go online to stihlusa.com/gift guide. Find yours.
Here comes the storm, and you don't have a snow and ice removal contractor. Go to stlfenceworks.com and schedule snow and ice removal service now. For fully insured commercial snow and ice removal on demand, contact STL Fenceworks today.
97.1 is happy to partner with SSM Health Cardinal Glennon Children's Hospital. Text 20357 to give a Christmas gift to the Tree of Hope. That's 20357.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. We're glad you're out here with us. We did an unboxing to start the show. Did you guys, so Ryan's in here now. Ryan, did you enjoy that brownie from the lantern?
Oh, I thought yes. Well, I'm drinking from the mug, but the brownie.
I didn't talk about the mug yet.
I know.
Talking about the brownie from the lantern.
The brownie was deceptively good because it had pecans on the top, candied pecans or pecans, whatever.
Okay,
Pecans.
so there's a way that
debate.
people say pecans, but you just said all three.
Well, you just got to make the people happy. Pecans, pecans, pecans.
Where are you from originally?
Same place as you are.
So you can't say pecan.
Why?
That is a Southern thing, man.
Sure.
I think I say
pecan.
pecans.
It's like P''CAHN.
I think left to my own devices, not thinking about how am I supposed to pronounce it, which is what I was just doing. I think I say pecans.
Nobody says pecans. That's like where you pee.
Yeah, that's like a bidet.
Oh, gosh. Hey, I do want to say that I got the name wrong in the pre-show. So it's the Lantern BLE. B stands for breakfast, L stands for lunch, E stands for events. So whenever Lebanon has events, like they have car shows and stuff like that, the Lantern will be open for those, so you can stop in there and get some food and stuff.
So anyway, they're brownies, which are covered in candied pecans, a.k.a. bedpans. They're delicious, and they provide a texture that very much balances out the goo of the brownie. So the brownie is almost underbaked on purpose, and it's gooey, and it's really good, but you don't notice because the pecans are hard and they balance out the texture.
Ryan, I really appreciate you comparing my friends' restaurants' food to bedpans. That's super awesome of you.
I say pecan.
And top notch.
So they're just going to have to deal with the fact that I say pecan.
Tell them at the Lantern.
Why don't you go in there and tell them yourself?
I will. I'll just walk in and yell it.
We also got a BritKit box, which was pretty cool. If you go to thebritkit.com, you can learn about that. And if you have somebody in your life who has an affinity for British culture or is from Britain, then I was going to say the UK, and I'm like, is it not really the UK? It's Great Britain. It is a really, really neat walk through different parts of the culture there. There's a coffee mug in there, a scarf, a makeup bag, a cosmetic bag. There were treats in there. I think we should try the treats.
Done.
I agree.
Okay, we'll do that on the break. We're not going to sit here and eat like that. Gosh, man, that Representative Stoneback, who was primaried by the Democrats and she lost, so she's toast. But she's really interested. I got to play this one last clip because I haven't gotten to this yet. And if you are in Illinois right now and you are not aware of HB 5855, it's very hard for me to like really dive deep into this and be like, and Merry Christmas to all and 12 good night, because it just seems such a buzzkill. But it's still happening, and they're trying to pass this right now. Listen to this clip.
Representative Stoneback, do you have anything to close with, or that's more germane to the actual bill?
I'll close. I would like to draw to the attention of this committee and my fellow committee members and the people present here that the NRA does receive funding from gun manufacturers. And this is, since we are discussing financial resources to our most underserved and most afflicted areas of gun violence, communities afflicted with gun violence, that we are now pouring resources in. There's no end to the resources that we are going to be able to supply to all the victims of gun violence because of a money-making operation from gun manufacturers and its supporters based on half of the text of the Second Amendment. So I certainly would encourage reflection and a deeper look into the true history of the Second Amendment and how it is being misinterpreted and misconstrued currently. Thank you.
You really could have cut off the applause there at the end by Moms Demand Action, which packed the small committee hearing.
Yeah.
If you listen to what she's saying there, she's talking about the common misinterpretations of the Second Amendment. Illinois is the test kitchen for loony leftists like Representative Stoneback, Denise Wang Stoneback, to kind of play into these wild assertions that go dramatic. I mean, go have that conversation in a Missouri legislature hearing. Like, please, just try. Film it. But move the microphone just a little bit away from your mouth. Oh, my goodness. Listen to Harris Faulkner today.
Here's another reason why Democrats are taking heat on their soft on crime policies. Illinois is about to become the first state to completely eliminate cash bail. The law is called the Safety Act. The critics point out it has very little safety in it and will only make crime in the state worse. One Republican state lawmaker says there are some people who are a threat to society who should be detained at trial. Don't take this national progressive approach.
Illinois just always just sticking their nose out for far left progressive policies, and they can get away with it because nobody pays attention to the state of Illinois. All of a sudden they're like, hey, did you see what Illinois passed? Oh my goodness. And then we all go, yeah, we know. We've been fighting against it. The Democrats have taken a stronger supermajority in both houses.
Yes, they have.
Kevin Schmidt beat LaToya Greenwood in the 114th, I think it is. He's the only person to flip a seat in the entire House.
I feel pretty good about that one, though.
I'm
really happy about that.
We got an email that credited the coverage that we did here on the show when I was talking about how LaToya Greenwood put an ad out on Facebook to say that Kevin Schmidt took some really tough votes against like healthcare for seniors. But Kevin Schmidt's a chiropractor and not in the legislature to vote. And yet here they are running this BS crap, which is redundant, about something that Kevin Schmidt did in his political history that's not even true. And they get away with it. And they've gotten away with it. They're so lazy. They're so comfortable in their cesspool of sewage of politics in this state that they run stuff like that and then I said specifically on the show that I would like to vote for Kevin Schmidt for king. And that had a little bit of legs. Now we got to figure out how to. I'm so distracted by Marsha Blackburn's hair. You see her? Woo!
Yeah.
She got some holiday hair going on. I don't know how to fix Illinois.
Yeah, it's I think I've told you this story. I don't know if it's on air or off though, about how rubber stamp most of these Illinois Democrats are. They don't really even know what, especially down here, they don't really even know what they believe. And people in Washington,
because they
DC,
get told by Chicago money what they believe.
Chicago money, and even outside the state, they'll have the people like who are making their ads will just call and say, "Here, say this," and they just say it back into a microphone, like your Christmas special when you had Evelyn read the Christmas story.
It was Jensen.
Oh, it was Jensen.
Mm-hmm.
One line at a time. She couldn't remember beyond like a couple words. So
Yeah,
she'd
it
go
wasn't
into the
even
mic.
like a sentence.
Yeah.
It was in those days. In those days.
Yeah.
It's just like that. That's
And
pretty
then,
good.
And then you go
Little
and
kid.
piece it together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not too far off from what a lot of these downstate Democrats, especially.
Are you telling that story right now?
Am I? Should I?
I think it's a great story.
It's one that I've really held on to because I wasn't sure about whether I should tell it.
It's your story. I don't know if you shouldn't tell it. That's on you.
I think I can say it now. It's been long enough.
Wouldn't it be terrible if we didn't tell the story now? I mean,
yeah. Okay, let's go to break.
Let's do it.
Yeah, not at 2:15, Ryan.
In 2020, we were all sent home to work from home. We were broadcasting the show from afar.
By our overlords.
Yes. Not that we chose to. We were told we had to. So we went home. You went to your basement and made a studio, which did not exist before that.
Nope.
I did not have anything like that. Most people don't have a studio in their basement. So I had just come from...
Before we get too far into this,
Please.
You've seen my studio.
Yeah.
The camera is facing...
The backdrop.
That's the studio.
Yeah, but the other half of the studio, which is a very small room, has a sump pump in it
Yeah.
and exposed drywall and exposed
Some
rafters.
insulation kind of hanging down.
Like I didn't just whip up a whole
No.
It was the storage room that wasn't fully used in our basement.
Yeah, but
So.
you used that room
Yeah.
to basically make a just soundproof enough studio.
Mattress pads
Yeah,
on the ceiling.
Exactly.
And, yes.
And that's what we all did. So, but I had at the time, this is 2020 March, we're thinking, oh, we're going to go home for a week, maybe 2, 15 days to stop the spread. So I thought, well, I'm not going to go home and try to make a studio in my basement. I just came from, in 2018, I was working in a studio in the Metro East with my business partner, and he had a full recording studio in the basement of our building, which was still there. Everybody had been sent home in his place too. I thought, hey, I'll just go do it from your studio. Great. Well, 2 weeks turns into 10 months. And so at the end of the year, I'm still there, and going into the 2020 election in October, or maybe this was September, October, right around then, I'm still broadcasting from his basement studio. There was a real studio. So have you heard this story? You have. Okay. I've told you. So there was a segment right before this. I mean, like a week before, that Annie had been, what were you, writing back and forth with Katie Stewart? I don't remember. You were doing some sort of correspondence where you were saying, hey, I'm one of your constituents. Please answer this question for me.
I've done that a lot, so I don't know which one you're speaking of. And then they drew me out of her district.
Yeah, which is really funny. They did.
They drew a line around my house.
It's not even a boot heel.
The house across the street from me is in Katie Stewart's district.
Yes.
My house is not. Amy Ellick is my representative. At least I have common sense.
Yeah, if you look at the map, it's funny because it's not even a boot heel. It's like a high heel.
It's a bump.
Yeah. Like, here we go. So you're saying, hey, I'm your constituent. And then in a break on the air, you left the studio, and I was just supposed to like fill in that segment because you were on the phone with Katie Stewart's people. Do you remember this?
Yeah. I don't remember the issue I was arguing
I don't remember
about.
what you were asking about either, but you were on the phone with them and fighting with them, and they were saying, oh, we know who you are. You're not just a constituent. Something like that.
You're the queen of Illinois.
Yeah. And So you were on the phone with him for so long that we came back into the top of the hour and you were still talking to him. So I had to kind of like fill in for a moment to let you finish that call. Well, it was just crazy because then you came and told the story, and it was a really good story. And a week later, and I've never told this until now, a week later, I'm in that studio broadcasting the Annie Frey show, and we get a knock at the door. It is Katie Stewart at that studio. My friend, my business partner, who I'd worked with for years, is upstairs in the main part of the studio. And he runs down, he goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you. Somebody from DC contacted me and told me that," and they don't tell you the names. They just said, "A politician's coming in to record a spot. Can they do it there?" And he's like, "Well, sure. I mean, we have a recording studio. That's what we do." So he's like, "You have to get off the air right now because Katie Stewart is at the door. She's going to go into your studio on the Annie Frey show and record a political ad."
Should have just put her on.
You should have just left it running in the background.
That's illegal. You can't do that.
So I had to step out, and I don't remember if it was right after or during the show. It was right around it. But I had to step out, and then I'm watching from the other room Katie Stewart sit in the same chair that I was just in talking about Katie Stewart. And she has no idea. She did not know. They just looked up a studio
And it was an ad?
booked it. And so she read a radio ad right there. And I mean, it was just line, blah, 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 blah. And I wasn't able to like be in the room, but it was dictated to her entirely. There was nothing original about it. And there was no real, and I mean, it's stuff we do every day. So we understand how like the process works.
I have stuff that's written for me that I read to promote something. Of course, I have buy-in to it, but that it's probably not entirely unusual for something like that to happen. But if you look at that in the context of how she represents the people of the 112th district, it's very widely known that she is there. We talked about this yesterday. She's there to hold her seat as a Democrat in a red district. That district is red now. It might be if a Republican had the opportunity to represent the 112th and they botched it, it might swing back over to being Dem. But the idea that a Katie Stewart sits in the 112th seat there, they are going to get like weak Republicans to vote for the Democratic cause before they're going to make Katie Stewart take a vote that's difficult, that she's going to have to answer to her Republican-leaning constituents. Take, for instance, the Safety Act. The Safety Act is Katie Stewart's bill. It started as a pharmaceutical bill. The Democrats hijacked it and turned it into the Safety Act. When it was Katie Stewart's bill, it had nothing to do with the Safety Act. They changed the whole thing in the middle of the night, literally overnight. They did this, and she voted against it. I commend her for voting against it. Tell me why you voted against it. Put it in words. She won't come on the show to say it. What about the bill? It's a Democrat bill. What about it hasn't earned your vote? Why don't you support it? Talk to us about it. She won't do it. And for, I've invited her on the show plenty of times. I guess we'll continue to do that. She doesn't have interest.
Let me just clarify real quick, too. I didn't plan on telling that story. We record stuff all the time. It's not as if I'm saying, "Oh, you can't have a script." You can't. Of course you can. Of course you have a team. Of course you have people giving you directives on how to do these things. I think what I'm saying is I've met a lot of politicians, a lot of people in politics. The ones who you can tell get into it because they're passionate about the cause, whether they're left or right, they can walk into a room and be like, "Listen, I am passionate about the people of Wisconsin. The people of Wisconsin need a governor who can blah, 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 blah." And some of that's performance, and some of that's that they know what they're talking about. What I'm saying is she walked into a room, and the line was something like, "I am passionate about reducing your tax burden." It was written for her, and she read it like that. If you're actually passionate about those things, there's a little bit of passion in your voice. In listening to her, there was nothing. And it was just told, no, say passion harder. Like it was directed. Mm-hmm. The whole thing was like a maestro directing it to a player. And it was just it was weird beyond just the reasons of the fact that I was there, but it was weird to watch.
It's funny to me, like, that was not about the Safety Act, the conversation that took place, that the story that Ryan was talking about, because this was way before the Safety Act. My criticism of her on the Safety Act, what I'm talking about right now, Art is reminding me that I read her response on air. Yeah, give me credit for that, because I don't owe that to her. If she wants to have her words be represented on this show, have the guts to come on and defend it. Have a conversation with a constituent of yours and defend why you voted no against this bill. I read her response on the air because it's important for you all to understand that I do reach out to these people. I am having conversations with these people. I want to have discussions with these people. She has no reason to believe that I wouldn't treat her fairly. I'm very fair to guests that I have on the show. I ask people. We've invited Cori Bush to come on the show. We've invited Tammy Duckworth. We've invited Dick Durbin. We've invited a lot of Democrats. J.B. Pritzker, he wouldn't come on the show after my family's farm was hit by the tornado, which was like a year ago, that Amazon tornado. He came and was at the Amazon building to talk about funding, but he wouldn't talk to my show. When my family was hit by that same tornado that hit the Amazon building, that he was willing to come to Southern Illinois to discuss. We asked these Democrats to come on our show, and they won't do it. For me to read her response on air is a courtesy that I provided her. It's not one that she's owed. And if she wants to have a discussion to defend her positions, at the time, especially, she still represents me. She's still my elected representative until the new General Assembly takes place. Come on the show and own up to it. Be a leader about it. Speak on it. Listen to the challenges that I have towards you and defend your position. Are we going to agree at the end? Of course not. But maybe we could see eye to eye on why we stand where we stand. She won't do it. And if she won't answer to me, then that means she is not willing to talk to you. That's the real problem. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, a little more Annie Frey show, a little departure from politics. There's this article that talks about a woman who's a little bit later in her marriage, and she has an idea about the next place that her marriage should go. And I want to read it to you guys because, boy, is this a look behind the curtain of our current state of culture. Back in a minute with the Annie Frey Show. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show.
For whatever Christmas vibe you're feeling, the free Odyssey app has the music you're looking for.
Celebrate the season with Odyssey, with pop Christmas classics.
Women of Christmas, Alterna Christmas, R&B Christmas, Santa songs, and more.
Christmas is on the Odyssey app. Download it now, search for holiday stations, and celebrate the season with Odyssey.
That's AUDACY. Odyssey.
You're really going to be able to test the comfort of your home this coming weekend. Why? Well, because it's going to be really, really stinking cold outside, like minus 25 wind temperatures, wind chills. Yuck, icky. The insulation of your house can really affect how well your furnace is able to heat your home. Air Comfort Service specializes in insulation services for you and your home. If you go to aircomfortservice.com/insulation, you will learn how they can come into your house and make sure that the work that your furnace is putting into heating your home is not all for naught, and that you're not paying to pump for all this energy and all of this heat into your house. It's just going to escape through an under-insulated home. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? You can call 314-513-0091. 314-513-0091 and reach out to Air Comfort Service to talk about your insulation concerns. They can assess the situation and let you know what you need to do. 314-513-0091, online at aircomfortservice.com/insulation.
Hello, everybody. I'm John Rooney. Do you have an old car that's taking up room in the driveway? Repairs are costly and selling is a hassle? That's why you should donate it to Goodwill. Donating is quick and towing is free. Plus, you get a tax receipt and 4 tickets to a Cardinals game next year, compliments of the St. Louis Cardinals. That's a win-win. For more information or to donate, visit online at mersgoodwill.org. Must mention Cardinals.
Hi guys, it's Mark. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction? Did you know that a major medical breakthrough is now available and it isn't a pill? Today, Wednesday, December 21st, we're running a one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pineview Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. This is a technology clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. It's backed by 60 clinical studies, including from Cambridge. If you're ready to regain the spark in your bedroom, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. You'll also get a gift that can produce rapid and powerful results in the bedroom in minutes. You're going to love that one, guys. Trust me. And today only, we're offering 6 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is an unprecedented offer worth hundreds of dollars, but call today and qualify totally free. Call 314-530-7777. That's 314-530-7777. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your life back. Call Pineview Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today, Wednesday, 314-530-7777.
Shows that make a difference. Mark Cox, Brian Kilmeade, Annie Frey, Mark Reardon and Dana Lash, Heidi Harris, Wiggins America. Where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Jesus Christ is born, while shepherds kept their watching, oh, silent flocks by night. Behold, throughout the heavens, there shone a holy light.
We are excited this week to be giving away Cardinals ticket packs, and we're going to do that again right here, right now. It is Wednesday, so today is about Sunday Fun Day. This 5-game pack includes tickets to 5 Sunday games, including the Cubs summer matchup and great promotional giveaways too. Cardinals ticket packs are on sale now and start at just $54. For details, you can visit cardinals.com/holiday. If you call 314-241-9797. That's 314-241-9797. We'll take caller number 15 in honor of Jim Edmonds, one of our favorite Cardinals in this show. This is like a one-show weirdness that's really stuck with me. 314-241-9797. Caller number 15 wins that Cardinal ticket pack. If you're interested in purchasing them, cardinals.com/holiday. And by holiday, the Christmas sense, not the Matt sense.
Spelled differently, isn't it?
It is.
So be careful when
Why
you go
I
to
made
order
the
them.
distinction.
That's right.
One of them has 2 L's. You'll have to put it in and see where it takes you to find out which one I'm talking about.
And if you go for the Contreras pack, make sure you spell that correctly as well.
The Wilson pack, which has 2 L's.
That's what I meant.
I know, but Contreras has no L's. So people won't really understand that.
Well, there you go. Wilson. 2 L's. I honestly could not remember his first name. I just said Contreras because I couldn't remember Wilson.
It's
and
like
I knew it was
Contreras
his first name.
How many L's in Contreras again? I hear people spell it wrong when they put the wrong amount of L's in Contreras.
Yeah, every time they put too
gotta get it
many
right.
L's in Contreras, I'm like, nah. You got to remember that's spelled differently than normal.
MSN.com, where I go to get all my relationship advice. It's actually featured on MSN, but it's pulled from the New York Post. Here's the headline. I want my husband to date younger women. Quote, I feel like life should be lived. There's a lot there.
Well,
Don't. According to this article, when Maria Foster turned 40,
old.
We're circling 40. You know, you've got experience.
Yeah.
Brad and I have heard about it.
Yeah, I'm getting closer. I'll be able to have experience here shortly.
She broke the news to her husband, Michael. She wanted to see other people. Also, she wanted him to do the same thing. It's really generous.
I don't think this sounds like it's going real well, like the marriage.
The Dallas, Texas content creator, of course, and her spouse are featured on Peacock's eyebrow-raising new dating show, Love for the Ages.
Oh, sure.
Premiering December 15th, so you can DVR it. On the NBC Universal-owned streamer, hosted by Adrian Balian, the reality series focuses on 3 middle-aged, longtime couples, each at a crossroads in their relationship. On the show, husbands and wives are given the opportunity to date younger people in their 20s and live with them for a full month.
Oh, come on.
At the end of the experience, they decide whether they want to reunite with their spouse or move on to pastures anew. Foster told the Post, I like to have fun. I feel like life should be lived and full of experiences. My husband is 42. We've been married for almost 20 years. He doesn't like gatherings or trying new things. It's a lot of routine, the same stuff over and over. I said, do I want to continue to live this way for the rest of my life?
Boring.
I'm 40. Half of my life is gone. Oh, crap.
No, I plan on living to 86, so.
I will have another over-the-hill celebration for you later.
Thank you.
Brought him on this experience in hopes that we can figure out, that we can both figure ourselves out and hopefully come to a compromise. Definitely compromising. If our happiness means being apart, we were both willing to do that. What is wrong with us?
Well, I mean, what she's saying, there's a lot of truth in it. If you find things to be kind of boring, you should be able to do anything you want all the time with anyone you want because you're bored.
Mark Maravilla-Louis, 25, an aspiring software engineer from Southern California, is one of the singles on the show who mingled with Foster, along with 3 other 40-something married women. He told the Post, my dating experience these last few years hasn't been ideal. I wasn't having the best luck, so I figured, why not take this new approach? Homewrecker. This isn't the age group that I normally date, but I was open to it. Everyone was consenting and wanted to be there. So this wasn't a home-wrecking situation.
No, it's not, because everything's going to be fine after this, I'm sure.
Because the home's wrecked.
I was going to say, the homes are already wrecked.
This is entertainment. I'm sure that the television cameras had nothing to do with his interest in being in this
right.
relationship.
Yeah, take the cameras away. He's still doing it. Still doing a game show.
Take the cameras away. Here, you're going to live with this 40-something-year-old woman for a month. See how it goes. I'm going to tell you right now. It's a lot of naps.
Are they changing their routines? You know, like they said that, well, we're in a lot of routines. So does that mean everything changes when somebody new comes into it?
What a pansy-ass quitting generation we've become.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a break. To suggest that we've been married for like 20 years, it's getting kind of stale. What did you think it was going to be? You know, do you remember going to those golden anniversary celebrations that like our grandparents' generation had?
Mm-hmm.
It's like a new wedding reception. I don't think people do that anymore. Not like that. Not like they used to. Not with head tables and cakes and stuff. Like wedding cakes.
Oh, I don't remember those.
Oh my gosh. Did you ever go to those?
Oh yeah, I've been to a couple.
Like golden anniversary parties?
Maybe one
at the
that was like
Legion?
a yeah, okay.
They were,
yes.
I'm more for those than I'm wedding receptions.
Heck yeah.
It's like less baggage.
People shuffling around to the B-52s.
I don't understand how we can be at this point in time where this is so casually, this is futuristic. This is where we're headed. The idea that, you know what, you've been married for 20 years, you're in your 40s. What are these 20-year-olds are thinking? Like, why bother spending time with this 40-year-old woman? What are you going to do? Develop a lasting relationship that you're going to bail on in 20 years? It's disgusting. It's so sad. And for anybody who would stumble onto this show, like, God forbid your children see it. It's so sad.
It's hedonism. I mean, it's full on what is going to satisfy me right now. And you know what's sad, too, is I see a lot of people in my life, because it's easy to do, so I understand why they do it, but they'll say the phrase, you know what, whatever makes you happy. And people don't even know what makes them happy. That's why they do crap like this. They don't know what they're doing.
That's the big lie. It's the big lie of everything that's out there all the time, that it's about you. It's not about you. Life isn't about you. But that's the lie you're sold every day, of every minute, of every week, of every time. Anytime you hear something, somebody's telling you it's about you and making yourself happy. And I cannot think of a more opposite way of approaching marriage than what that is. What marriage is giving 100% of yourself over to the other person and dedicating your life to that person, while that person then, in turn, dedicates their life to you.
Which is where you see that you're happy.
Mm-hmm.
Because somebody else is willing to do that for you. But you can't have that from someone else if you're not willing to give that to somebody else.
No, it's just you saying, what did you provide for me today? Not enough? Well, then I don't like you. We've talked about this subject before, but it is key to all of society. I mean, this is the social gospel now. It is that message, and it filters into everything from your relationships to your job, to the way you live your life, to politics and everything else. It affects everything.
It is the predicate for complete social decay. Everything that is important is harnessed solely in you. And if everything that is important is what's important to you, how does that work in a society where all types of different people are out there working, living, doing their thing, when everything that's important is what's important to them? You cannot live like that. You cannot exist with any kind of happiness. Suicide, on the rise.
Oh, yeah.
Depression, on the rise. Medications for these types of issues.
Yeah.
Out of control.
Drug use, illegal drug usage.
Yes.
Skyrocketing.
And all of these different things are supposed to be Band-Aids. They're not cures for what everybody is seeking. And what everybody is seeking is actually exactly what this woman is seeking, is happiness. The only way that you can ever understand what happiness is to understand your value. And that's what everybody is pursuing here. Everybody wants to feel valued. In a world where you determine your value for yourself, you can never live up to that, because you can't give yourself self-love to the place where you're like, I am feeling so loved today by me. You won't get there. No amount of self-love will ever make you feel the kind of love that you are trying to feel. And you also will never, ever, ever get that from another person in your life, because the truth is that they're trying to feel the same dang thing. So if they're out there trying to do things, it's like the Phoebe Buffay Friends episode where she's trying to do a true selfless act. And she realizes at the end of the show that everything she does that's selfless, that she's only trying to do in a fully selfless way, an act of kindness, she realizes that at the end of all of these selfless acts, she feels good about herself. And then she says if she feels good about herself, then that is self-serving in and of itself. The idea that you are of a giving mindset and that you are providing care, concern, kindness, love to somebody else is always in tandem, not just because, but in tandem with the idea that you will feel a warmth, a love, a kindness in your own heart because of how you are able to affect somebody's life. If you are able to affect somebody else's life, that's a feeling of power. Not in a bad way, but it makes you realize, oh, I can do something, the I there, I can do something that makes an impression on somebody else's life. That's a good thing. There's nothing wrong with that. But the whole idea of marriage in my Christian walk of faith is to understand that the amount of love that you are trying to give people is for an amount of love that you're trying to receive. And the only way that you can ever truly find happiness is to know that you have value in your Maker's eyes and that you are priceless in your Maker's eyes. And if there are people out there who are walking agnostic lives, who are atheists, or they say they have no God, oh, they have a God. The absence of a faith in God is the presence of making yourself into the God that you worship. And it's never fulfilling. It's a constant pursuit in failure. I think the Christmas season is a great time to talk about that and to highlight that. At least that's the viewpoint that I have. I understand that there are other people who don't see it that way. I respect your right to have a differing opinion. But the one thing that in my well short of 40 years of experience, and we'll get into Ryan Wiggins' longer wisdom later in the show.
Probably do that on the whole show.
Maybe
tomorrow.
at like 3:05.
No, that's weird.
The whole idea of understanding a perfect love that does exist for you, that is when you can start to take the love that's been given to you and move it out into the world and see what happens. It's selflessness. It certainly is not, I want my husband to date younger women. I feel like life should be lived. She doesn't want her husband to date younger women. She wants to date other people.
She's broken. She's looking for something that's going to fulfill her. And being on TV is probably that thing. I don't think they actually believe that dating other people. Maybe they do.
For how long?
Maybe they do. But it lasts like that. And then it's the next thing because nothing's going to fulfill you.
Yeah, you said it. It's hedonism. It's so sad, too. Like, I'm not mad at these people.
No, of course not.
I'm kind of mad that this is the world I'm bringing my kids up in. But people thousands of years ago were still looking at going, oh, how do I teach my kids about this? How do I push my kids through this part of culture? It's still there. And I'd say the same thing about raising kids. The number one thing is to make sure they understand that they're loved and that they're valued. And that their intrinsic value is so much more powerful than anything that anybody can ever take away from them.
I think you said it already, that love is a resource, but you have to go to the source to get it.
Yep. It's out there. And actually, it's already yours. Don't even have to do anything to get it. Let's do the poll when we come back. Which party will fare better in 2023?
On to more important things.
We'll be right back. Don't go away.
While shepherds kept their watching.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
There shone a holy light. Go sail it on the mountain, over the hills and every...
Wait and see. Sometimes that can be a good approach, but it isn't always a good strategy when it comes to your retirement. The decisions you make today regarding your savings and investments can have a huge impact on your retirement. Ken and Lori Heisey and the team at Heisey Advisory Group know how hard it can be to watch your accounts go up and down. They've seen the market at its highs and lows and everywhere in between. So if you want to talk to an experienced advisor to help make the most out of these turbulent times, call 314-328-6000 now. That's 314-328-6000. Don't wait any longer. Call Ken and Lori Heisey at Heisey Advisory Group to see what's possible with your retirement plan. 314-328-6000.
Investment advisory products and services made available through AE Wealth Management, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal.
Michael's Flooring Outlet. You can find them online at igotfloored.com. Have you done some flooring shopping here recently? Or is it something that you're going to be pursuing potentially in the new year? I want you to think about Michael's Flooring Outlet and how they have been serving locals just like you. Replace the flooring in their homes, replace the flooring in your office, in your place of business, maybe in your church or your community group. Michael's Flooring Outlet works with neighbors just like you. They're local. They've been doing this in St. Louis for almost 30 years, and they've been amazing partners and supporters of 97.1 FM Talk for many of those years. If you are looking for carpeting to replace in your house, we need to do this. I've talked about this so much, and I'm just waiting for my kids to get old enough so that if I put the new carpet in, they don't ruin the new stuff. Molly, looking at you. When you are looking to replace the carpeting in your house and you're looking for top brands, you're looking for the Mohawk Smart Strand brand, you're looking for something that can handle pets or little kids or whatever the life is that you're going to lead on it, and you go into Michael's Flooring Outlet and you tell them about your circumstances, they're going to fit you with the product that you are looking that fits your aesthetic and can handle the life you're going to live on it. You can find out all the details online, including how to get an estimate at igotfloored.com.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
Here comes the storm, and you don't have a snow and ice removal contractor. Go to stlfenceworks.com and schedule snow and ice removal service now. For fully insured commercial snow and ice removal on demand, contact STL Fenceworks today.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gslhonorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Hey, I'm going on a little bit of a Christmas break to enjoy time with my family. Ryan Recker and Mike Elam filling in. I'll be back on Tuesday afternoon.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
Frey Show. Thanks for being here with us today. Who'd you say won the tickets?
Robert from Hillsboro.
Hillsboro. Congratulations, Robert.
Do you know where that is?
It's in Hillsboro, Illinois.
No, Missouri.
Because there's a Hillsboro, Illinois, too.
There is?
I think, yeah. Is it within the listening area?
Hillsboro, Illinois is
so.
just outside of Litchfield.
Yeah.
So it's probably on the line.
No, you can. We went to Springfield for the volleyball state tournament. We could hear 97.1 pretty much all the way to Springfield.
Yeah, and I think we've got a pretty strong listener base in Mount Vernon too, which is east.
That's
like
southeast, isn't it?
I think it's like due east. I have to look and see.
We're really good at Illinois geography.
Yeah.
Last night I bought a new shower head for our shower upstairs, and it had the reason I bought it is the shower head that I bought has what they call a water pick in it, so it's detachable, but you can take it off so you can clean your shower. And
nice.
My husband, I was going to install it myself. I replaced the one in my kids' bathroom, I don't know, a few months ago. And it was super simple. And I went to undo ours, but I couldn't get the thing. I needed a wrench. So I was like, I need a man. Bring your tool up here and fix this, please. And so he comes up and he does the wrench thing. He puts and I was like, since you're here, you want to just install the rest of it? And it didn't even occur to me, but he installs it. And the way this works, it's got a big shower head. It's like probably 6 inches in diameter.
Is it one of those if you turn it, it becomes a massager?
Yeah, it had like 7 different sprays, but so if the circle, like it's kind of like that rain shower type of thing, the water pick is out the front of it. So you'd like point it at the thing, and he installs it. He goes, it's probably going to leak. We'll have to see if I need to put some Teflon tape or whatever on it. I think, okay, whatever. So he turns and I tested it. The water pick was on, and it shot up into the wall, and and my husband, like on a fight or flight scale, he's fight.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I like that
yeah.
about him. There's another F, and it's froze or freeze. And he started shooting out. He jumped so high, and he just stood there, and I was like, do something! It's just like spraying everywhere. And I don't know why, but that was the funniest thing. I think we might have ruined our ceiling. It's not good, but it was really funny.
Man, I've done the same thing.
It was so silly. And I thought we should have anticipated that.
Yeah, I went up and took a shower for some reason, the upstairs shower once, which we never use.
Do you get completely naked, step in the shower, and then turn the water on?
No, I just shower with my clothes on. I'm uncomfortable. I'm a never nude.
That's false. You sit in an empty bathtub without the water on.
That is sick.
Ready,
There's a lot of
These are
judgment
urban
in
legends.
ready to take a bath, and then you're the one person who I know, and I haven't asked everybody else yet, but
Ask
I'm
everybody you
working
meet
on it.
from now on.
When you take a bath, when do you turn the water on? Ryan Wiggins gets completely in the bathtub, ready to take a bath, and then turns the water on, like a psychopath.
No. Ask everybody you know, and you'll find out that you're mostly right, but you probably can find somebody somewhere.
I look at you differently now.
Yeah,
I can tell. You all do. But the story, the one time I had to go up and actually, that's the bathtub. That's the tub room. So we never use the shower
The
there.
bathroom?
Well, we have
Bath
two bathrooms.
room?
That one we always use to bathe the kids.
Uh-huh.
The other one is the shower.
Mhm.
So we never shower upstairs. For whatever reason, I had to go and shower upstairs. The shower head spraying out of the regular shower was fine. Also realized the shower head that is the one that comes down, like you can spray off yourself. It also was leaking water the whole time and was out of the bath. So I took like a 15-minute shower, and water is everywhere. Probably ruined the ceiling in the laundry room below it.
I don't know why, because that event last night could have gone either way. It could have made me like fly off the handle, like, what in the world's going on here? But it was so funny. And every time, like, I'll be walking through my day and I'll think about that, and I just start giggling out loud. It's unbelievable. Thursday, tune into the Annie Frey Show. We are going to be celebrating Christmas here together, and we're inviting you to celebrate it with us as well. So all Thursday, Christmas show right here on the Annie Frey Show. Can't wait. We're going to exchange gifts before the show starts on the live stream. Just like we started the live stream early today on YouTube. You can join us early. So if you haven't yet, what you do is you go subscribe to the Annie Frey Show on YouTube, and there's a notification bell that will give you the heads up that we have gone live, and then you can see what we get each other. We'll probably talk about it during the show, but we're going to exchange gifts. It's more a visual thing. We're going to do that on the live stream, probably at about 11:30.
Get ready to lose the gift war, because I'm going to beat all of you by giving you the best gift.
Sweet.
Yep. Yeah, you're not really losers, I guess.
All right, YouTube poll time.
I
Today's YouTube poll is asking which party will fare better in 2023, Republicans or Democrats? With over 120 votes, 70% of the people said that the GOP will fare better in 2023 than the Democrats.
Good.
It's a 70-30 split on that. Did
Good
we
thing it's
say,
not an election year.
Did we say our thoughts on the YouTube poll yet?
We haven't.
Ryan?
The GOP is winning the national vote right now, popular vote, so I have no reason to see that changing with Biden continued presidency and
Brad?
Democrats holding the Senate.
I go back and forth because I think it really depends and hinges on this omnibus bill, because so much of what the House has is, as far as power goes, leverages on them controlling the purse strings, and this takes the... Yep.
Go ahead, you can share it.
So anyway, it takes
We got a couple
control of the purse strings out of their hand until October, and that might hurt them in the long run.
GOP.
GOP. Yep.
If you want to see what she's laughing at, we have it highlighted on the YouTube page.
Josh
she's not
comments.
going to read it.
Wiggins says, I'm a never neuter. Sounds so funny, but even more. Yeah, Annie says, that's a...
As if she knows. Wait, we're over. Are we okay? Are we okay?
Not yet.
All right.
I love you guys.
Oh, man, it's coming apart right
And
now.
by you guys, I mean the commenters. I love most of you guys in here, too.
Well, no presents for you then.
How do you know that you're not on my list?
What do you mean?
Which list?
Which list?
Yeah, what are you talking about?
We going to give each other gifts tomorrow?
Yep.
Well, I bought something, so somebody's going to have to take it.
Brad wants us to go. Mark Reardon up next.
So pour another glass of that rock and roll. Turn up the band, find the whole gonna
Cover at-home COVID testing kits with no out